Ladies and gentlemen of the RNG Revolution, welcome to episode 57 of the RngCast. You might have noticed we changed the name a little bit. That's just because we have a couple special guests today from the Barely a Destiny show, but we'll get to them in a second. I'm Buster Knuckle, and joining me this week, as always, is...
This is your boy Raven.
And like I said earlier, about 2 seconds ago actually, we have two of the hosts of the Barely a Destiny show. Go ahead, guys. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm that Ben Malone. How's it going?
Dick!
What's up, podcast land? How's it going, brother Elijah? I don't know.
Slapshot Scott.
And like I said, this is going to be a little bit different than the RngCast episode, the RngCast you're used to listening to. This will basically be the RngCast and the Barely a Destiny show have done the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. Let's see how this ends up. It'll be fun. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
We had about a 30-minute conversation, which the entire time I was like, come on, guys, stop. Let's just talk about this on the show. Let's talk about this when we're actually recording. Let's do this. Come on. But that always happens, right?
Yeah.
As per usual for the RngCast, it's a little bit of the RngCast coming in. How did you get your name, your screen name? What's your favorite weapon in Destiny and your favorite exotic in Destiny?
You want to go, Scott?
Sure. So my Twitter name and the Slapshot Scott, it's different than my actual gamer tag. My actual gamer tag is SlapshotFet19, and I think you guys might have seen that. So that is a combination because I am a diehard hockey fan, and I am a diehard Star Wars fan. Boba Fett being my favorite character. So when I upgraded from PS4 to 360, my wife's like, you should make your gamer tag something Star Wars so it'll stay with you. And I was like, well, I got to do hockey then too. So I thought I was really cool and did that. My favorite exotic in Destiny, I'm a Titan main, so I'd probably say if I'm running PvE or raids or things like that, it's probably Armamentarium is the one I use the most. If I'm in PvP, it's Twilight Garrison.
You dick, stealing my answers.
Well, Ben, we're both Titan mains. I mean,
there's 3 Titan mains in this podcast right now.
Yeah, there's not many other exotics you use for Titans other than like that and the Helm of Saint 14, which are like those are the only 3 Titan exotics I ever use. The rest of them are just kind of like those are cool, but I'm not interested.
Dune Marchers. I was about to say Dune Marchers, and the Might of Multi-Tool make you the Flash.
Yeah, those are fun.
Go ahead.
Not even a Titan main, and I came up with Dune.
Yeah, I was going to say Dune Marchers too, Raven. Don't feel bad.
I used Dune Marchers in the Crucible before I started using Twilight Garrison, and they were super fun. But Garrison gives you that like shade step ability that Titans don't get unless they're wearing Garrison. So once I got that, I'm like, all right, I'm addicted to this. I got to keep doing it because it makes it easier to Titan skate too. And being a scrub, I need all the help I can get.
All right, go ahead, Ben.
So my screen name is from... Okay, it's an inside joke from when I was like 19. No, not even. Jeez. When I was like 17. But, so there's a radio show called Lanigan and Malone in the morning. And then I always hung out with my buddy Landon, so everyone called us Landon and Malone. So Lanigan and Malone, whatever. I don't know why my name's not Malone at all, but
not even close.
One day we were doing what 18-year-olds like to do in the middle of the day when you don't have to work and it's summer vacation and whatever. And we were like, hey, bro, it'd be funny if we made a comic book. And so we got on a Mac and made a comic book about these loose cannon. It's the LCPD, the Loose Cannon Police Department. So there's Detective Ben Malone, Deputy Dan Lanigan, and Daryl Rook, the rookie. So, yeah. And then I just made my fucking gamer tag, Dat Ben Malone. And it's been like that since Xbox 360. So you guys want to link up and play some Dead Island, hit me up on Xbox 360.
It's only 2 systems behind, whatever.
And then my favorite exotic is Twilight Garrison, by far.
Cool.
And my favorite weapon is got to go to the Sally V.
Yeah, Scott, what was your favorite weapon? I don't think you mentioned that.
Favorite. Am I on? Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite weapon, probably Mida for exotics. Although when I'm running PvE, I use Galahorn as many times and as often as I can get because I like blowing shit up. Again, like main. Should be surprised.
Cool, guys. Like I said, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Thank you for having us.
This is super fun. All right, Raven, we're going to go to you for your ArcStrider Destiny 2 information dump. Go ahead, buddy.
Yay! E3 stuff came through. Anyway. All right, so yeah, a lot of information came through, like from E3, like sources, interviews, blah, 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 podcasts, blah, blah, freaking blah. But a lot of like potential like good information. Sadly, not a lot of like ArcStrider footage, so no slideshow today. Thankfully so. Considering Biz is on hiatus. We miss you, buddy. Bring our tech back.
He's never golden age technology.
I feel like a fucking pilgrim.
Let's see. A lot of like I said, a lot of potential like quality of life changes. Like they're doing something to the weapon systems in D2 to where they've mentioned that instead of like going through and hitting, well, they to use a recent example, like Clever Dragon was an issue in PvP. So all high rate of fire pulse rifles got a huge nerf across the board. In D2, they're actually going to be able to look at individual weapons and tune those individual weapons to make sure that they're not a problem anymore. They haven't really given a specific thing of what they're going to be able to do, but they just have made mention that they're actually going to be able to pin in on individual like instigators for things. So that's like really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm super hyped about that.
I know, right? Because I mean, Clever Dragon was the worst thing to happen to any of that archetype.
No, Clever Dragon was the best thing because I had the god roll of it. So you shut your mouths. But no, let me live those days. In a fond memory.
No, I mained a Grasp of Malak, Counterbalance, Hammer Forged, and like Feeding Frenzy.
God damn you! That's an awesome.
That weapon is the weapon that forged this show.
Yeah.
The Clever Dragon is the keystone of this show.
And then Clever Dragon, Clever Dragon came, and all of a sudden my Grasp's ammo got hit, and it's like, well, I'm done with this gun. But I do have a nice waltz now, so.
Nice.
Dude, that waltz I got last night is so sweet.
You're welcome.
I almost deleted it. I was like,
I know, right?
It's kind of like a whatever waltz.
It's perfect counter. It's like, dude, shut up and use it.
Was it perfect counter and hidden hand?
Laser beam. No.
Flared Magwell, which
Flared Magwell.
It's kind of meh, but there's worse things to have in that slot.
Yeah, I've just been
like oiled frame
with it.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing that's got people's panties in a slight twist is there is no ranked playlist for the September launch of Destiny 2, and no set plans on adding one just yet. Please pay attention to those very specific words. No set plans yet.
Wait, what was that last word?
No, yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yet. Now, I believe this was in the Luke Smith interview.
PC Gamer?
Yeah, PC Gamer. I do believe. Like, I can't remember. I didn't list like some of this information where it was from, so that's my bad. But it does come from the mouth of a Bungie dev. The fact that this could be a talk to be added later, but there's no, like, they're not worrying about that right now. Right now.
So interesting. What are the two multiplayer game modes? Sorry.
Yeah.
Because there was like something that people thought was going to be ranked, but what are the two?
They're going to have a casual and competitive playlist.
Okay.
Casual playlist will be like Clash, Control,
Supremacy.
Yeah, they listed Supremacy in those. And that's like, those are the game modes in that playlist.
Yeah, it's like a quick play though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think. But competitive will have your objective game modes, like the new search and destroy countdown, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So they're
competitive.
They also play their playlists now, though. Like it's like rotating game types,
Which
is good. Really.
Yeah. I always wondered why they didn't just do that when they were like, "Oh, we have too many games. We got to cut some of them out." I was like, "Why don't you just have like a rotation of like Control and Clash, and then whatever something in Rift?"
Because Salvage was wickedly broken for a long time.
Now, did you guys see in the competitive playlist they said another game mode not yet released?
Talked about, yeah.
You guys,
they mentioned they haven't talked about the next competitive.
If it's elimination, I'm going to be like, that's fucking lame.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's elimination, but
no, they said it was going to be something other than elimination, right?
Yeah, they did. There are some people speculating it might be Rift.
Yeah, but that's fucking lame if they're like, we have this secret hidden one.
No, they're just saying they haven't mentioned it yet. They're not saying anything about it being secret. Yeah. That's your fault for assuming that.
I was hoping it's going to be...
They'd be like, oh, it's Rift.
I was hoping it'd be a true capture the flag.
Yeah, that would be cool, but at the same time, it's like Rift kind of is. So I can imagine them like retweaking it a bit and putting it out. I mean...
What about like a King of the Hill mode?
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, like I said, there's still a lot of like game type modes that they could add to. I mean, I'm actually legitimately surprised that the first thing that they said was even Countdown, which is like, how long has that been in like Counter-Strike games? So
I have an idea of what the one new game mode could be.
Oh, what?
Let it out.
4v4v4. Big team.
For competitive? Doubt it. If they had mentioned that in the casual, yeah, sure, I could see that.
I feel like they're gonna do something crazy like that, just to be like, we said it was all force combat.
We didn't say how many teams.
Yeah, how many teams?
We got you.
You've been bungoed.
And there is, of course, the interesting talk that D2 raids having a different death penalty for heroic mode.
Yeah, we talked about that in my clan a little bit.
Yeah.
People were throwing around guesses. You guys have any guesses?
It kills you and then zaps you in the balls.
Welcome to the pain station.
That seems a little extreme. The Axis challenge.
Goals got me by the balls with the new heroic mode.
That's fantastic.
I've seen, Scott, to answer your question, I've seen a lot of people say it's going to be like how in Countdown you have revive tokens.
Right.
I don't think they're going to hamstring people that much. I think it's going to be
what do you
like
mean hamstring?
That'd make it easier.
I think.
Wait, you're going from not being able to revive at all to a limited number of revives, and that's hamstringing?
Hold on. Let me explain why I'm saying that.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking it's going to be like the Trials countdown. Like the more you die, the longer the revive counter is.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
that's why I was about to say. Let me continue on with what I was thinking before I
don't know. I think that's a little too liberal though, because they've already said they don't want to pull back on difficulty.
Well, I got some thoughts on this, but Ben, I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I got nothing.
All right. So we were talking about this week in my clan, and when it popped up, because we're very heavy raiders, that's like the main thing we do is raids, and then we go play PvP and scrub it up real bad afterwards. I scrub it up real bad. The rest of the guys are all right. They're pretty good. So we were talking about this, and because we have some people who aren't necessarily the best in raids, known for frequently dying, surprisingly not me. Awesome. We were sort of throwing around ideas, and somebody said it might take all like remaining members of your fire team to revive you on hard mode, which I thought was a really interesting thing. But the thing is, like, as I read that, there was an article from I think it was a European site. It was written very confusingly and almost clickbaity, and they referenced Game Informer. Gamer Rant. I'm sorry. So I switched over to the Gamer Rant article and read it, and basically, what it sounded like to me, and this is just my opinion, is that they're trying to make it difficult, but at the same time, they're trying to entice people to take newbies, rookies, single players through the raids and the end game activities like the raids through guided games. Now, if they're talking about raids, you don't one of the things, because somebody suggested they're going to say all 5 members of your fire team have to revive you if you die. And I said, that could be, but the thing with that is it makes it harder. It's going to like dissuade people, because people are going to either be like, look, you died too many fucking times, we're booting you from the party. Or they're going to say, fuck you, you died. We're just going to not revive you. And that's the way it is right now, because hard mode has no revives. So I said, I don't know that they do that. I was thinking revive tokens, like Buster said, that actually, because it's already in the game and it seems like a familiar concept, I think they could do that. Somebody else suggested that maybe it was I'm trying to think, what the fuck was it? Either everybody loses their super, or you have to like wait till supers are charged to revive a down team member. So you basically have to use your super energy to revive them, which again, that would kind of just lead people to being like, hey, F you died. I'm not wasting my super on you because, you died and you died too many times. So they're trying to make it difficult, but they're also trying to make it like more enticing for people to do the guided games thing. So, I mean, that was just some of the stuff that I heard that was coming up. I thought they were pretty good ideas.
See, Scott, those are interesting if you think about it in like the lore perspective. If every teammate has to revive you, that would be like them giving a little bit of their light to your ghost to revive you.
Right.
Or if you have to use your super, that would be like dumping all of their gained or stored energy or light into one person to bring them back. Sort of like the defib paddles.
Yep. And we already have seen that concept, like a similar concept of using your light to charge everybody in the Axis challenge mode when you like run to the plate and you supercharge and it gives everybody their super instantly. Like that's already a concept that they sort of introduced. So I mean, it's a possibility.
I don't know. It seems strange to me that there would be revives at all in the heroic mode.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be something. But haven't you guys heard, apparently, according to the internet, Bungie doesn't like lore.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, that's it. I don't have anything negative to say, just saying. So, yeah, different death penalty. Another little miscellaneous thing is, also for this thing, is that they have it has been stated that guided games are for normal mode activities. You're still going to need a fire team for heroics.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Well, no.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Scott said, I mean, you get at the point in time, like in a heroics, like you open up a guided game and, I mean, sure, you might be able to be willing to drag a newbie through normal mode. But all of a sudden, this newbie has, like, no thumbs and is dying every 3 seconds.
And you don't want to be a dick and just be like, get out of here, guy, Scrubby McScrubblestons. I feel it.
But, let's see. So we will get into, like I said, the Arcstrider stuff. Like I said, the tree came out. We've seen some gameplay on it. Strangely, one source of gameplay, but hey, one is better than nothing, I guess. Much like the Dawnblade, the Arcstrider is using Blade Dancer, Grenades, Flux, Arc Bolt, and Skip are all coming back. It is getting high jump, strafe jump, and triple jump, so there's an absence of blink from that kit. It has the class ability of the dodges, of course. The trees for it, the first tree, which seems to be what the footage, the GameSpot footage, showed off this tree, it seems, and that's Way of the Warrior, which has one ability, Combat Flow, which recharges your dodge ability on a melee kill.
Yeah, so it's like the roll around stab people. So
yeah,
it'll be a lot of like, I'm gonna dodge in, pop you once with my hand cannon, then punch you, and
now it could be limited to a charged melee.
Yeah,
because the footage did show the death of a charged melee bringing it back, but it actually didn't have people like overtly smacking.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody saying that it was going to be similar to Stoke the Forge on the Sunbreaker, and which is crazy because I mean, if you're talking about a hunter, you know, like, and they've already got the shade step, quote unquote shade step ability, if they're dodging everywhere, say they equip something like a Matador, like a high impact, high range shotgun, and they're just shade stepping everywhere, popping someone and then meleeing them to finish them off. It's going to be, it has the potential to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but shotguns are power weapons now.
That's true. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, then there's Deadly Reach, which extends melee lunge after a dodge. Now, interestingly, this does have an on-screen timer, too. So it seems to be like a 5-second thing that you have this extended melee lunge.
Okay.
Which I'm not opposed to.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Lethal Current, which is Arc Staff hits twice after dodging.
All right.
I mean, that's a thing.
Does that kill you in one shot, like, anyway?
No, I don't actually think so. It depends. Okay, there's like... All right, I've seen like some people commenting on the GameSpot footage, and a lot of people going, it's like, oh, but, the Arcstrider Hunter got nailed by a Fist of Havoc. And it's like, that's true, but if you actually look at that part of the footage and notice, like, the person that the Arcstrider passed was the Titan, and he actually survived 2 Fist of Havocs. It actually took the second Fist of Havoc to kill him. And the one swipe he did on an in-cast Fist of Havoc dealt roughly half his health. So
would it kill a normal Guardian in one shot?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It seems like they're making supers more power. It seems like they're making you more tanky in a super, which is what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Getting one shot out of your super, getting sniped out of your super is infuriating. We all can agree that.
So then there's Shocking Blow, which is the charged melee for the Arcstrider in The Way of the Warrior, where a hunter that has the same animation as now, where he stabs someone, is just missing the knife. And he just, like, hammer punches someone, which looks a little odd to me. I'm going to miss my knife.
Wait, so the hunters don't have knives anymore?
Yeah, Shocking Blow does not have a knife. It's a punch.
Get out of here.
Well,
it
makes sense because you're in your Kung Fu super.
Yeah, but still, it's the same animation as if you're stabbing someone with your knife, but there's no knife.
So
it's like
the horizontal punch.
Yeah, so it's like, what?
Ooh. The Kwai Chi Gong punch.
Let me punch you with a padded part of my hand.
Way of the Wind has Disorienting Blow, which seems to be its charged melee, and sounds kind of dirty because it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a punch that disorients you, which if we were to go by current Destiny terminology, that means it's going to blind you.
Flashbang punch.
Yeah, flashbang punch.
So that's going to be fun.
Oh, God.
And Way of the Wind also has Lightning Reflexes take less damage while dodging in super. So, wow. Battle Meditation, which grenade and melee recharge drastically faster while critical. That is the words that were used to describe this. Drastically faster. It's like, holy crap. And then Focused Breathing, which gives you faster sprint speed and reduces dodge cooldown while sprinting.
Ooh. and there is no
like
sprint lock. And there is no
there's no sprint lock in D2. They've already confirmed there's no stamina system, so to everyone that wanted to say dodge wasn't powerful, beware the Arcstrider.
Yeah.
You'll find out how useful that dodge is.
That is, it's cool. It feels like it's going to be slightly different than
slightly
what
different,
we have now.
Yes, but at the same time, a lot of the same mentality seems to be there. Except for the fact that while in Super, I haven't seen anyone in the staff form, like in Supercast, I haven't seen a hunter jump. I'm almost tempted to say that their jump is replaced by by the more acrobatic dodge type moves that we've been seeing.
Oh, like the pole vault move?
Yeah, like these pole vaults and like twisty, turny jumps. I mean, of course, I have no clue, and I haven't seen anyone correct that. But that seems to be my thought on that.
Thematically, that would make more sense.
Which, hilariously, we've actually seen that jump go through Titan walls. Like the full force barriers they're able to put up, the Arcstrider has been able to jump through those things.
That's fine. He could jump through my bubble, too. I'll still shotgun him.
Well, that's fine, but
We're gonna get busy,
if
hunters.
he jumps through and he gets two.
See, you're still thinking Destiny 1.
Yeah,
if you don't have power ammo, you do not have a shotgun.
I will SMG you.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, that's fine too, because you're also assuming that, which we have heard, Ward of Dawn is coming back, but they haven't said like its enhancements are coming back.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. If it doesn't have the buffs, I'm going to be like, well, this is kind of pointless now. Like, why
would it have its buffs? They gave the buffs to warlocks.
I know, that's why.
Why would they let you have your cake and eat it too?
I mean, it feels like they already did let me.
They pretty much took all the fun out of the defender bubble and was like, here, we'll give it to the warlock. Not like the warlock needs any more help.
Well, actually, the warlock did need.
No, they needed all the help. That was
synergy thing. I mean,
that was a very, very.
I mean, I'm not saying that warlocks. Okay, warlocks didn't need the help, but like I said, as for a team synergy perspective, I really respect the idea that they split the bubble into like the wall and the and the rift.
Yeah.
For Titans and warlocks, because that really like is going to like promote like healthier, like more diverse
gameplay.
Yeah,
teamwork.
Yeah. Team, like more diverse team comp. There we go. Yeah. Team composition.
You guys really don't think that the Ward of Dawn's going to have any buffs in D2?
No.
I think it's going to be a little bit more powerful, take more damage, but I don't think it's going to be.
I even doubt that. I just think it's going to be like a 360-degree protection wall, basically, that you're going to get.
So more like it would be like, okay, cool. Who's the warlock? I'm dropping my bubble here. Put your rift in the bubble. Yeah. That way we have.
Yeah.
Or here's my half shield.
But that
put the
seems
bubble.
Like,
put the rift here. Type
that
of deal.
Seems like a lame thing that you're just like, oh, now we have to use the warlock and the Titan to make just what the Titan used to just do by himself.
Which still requires you to bring a warlock, though. I mean, it's still still like it's dumb, but it's still promoting healthier team comp.
Because I thought it was going to be a thing where it's like, you don't get to pick. It's just like Armor of Light or Blessing of Light.
I don't think it's going to be armor. I highly don't think it's going to be armor, and I highly don't think it's going to be weapons because that's an empowerment rift.
Yeah, that's why I was like, maybe it's just blessing.
I have a microphone on. If you want to come,
but the healing rift gives you the overshield when you're at full health and standing in the rift. So it's kind of like blessing, sort of.
Yeah, that's weird.
But I mean,
I just feel like you got to give it something.
It's going to have. It's a thin line because if they give it anything that the bubble has now, it's going to be overpowered. Combined with Warlock Rifts, it's going to be just dumb.
What if they just put Saint 14 into the bubble? They're just
actually, like opposed to that, actually.
Like, yeah, if you use the bubble, it's going to disorient any enemy who steps in it.
Now that, I can get behind that. Yeah,
because that would be sick. Because then it's actually like the most defensive type. Because that's what I always do in raids when I'm getting overwhelmed. Is I'm just like, nope, just Saint 14 bubble. Don't touch me.
Okay, and see, that's also kind of like what they've done with the Arcstrider and the whole focused breathing. Because we had, Hunters had the whole, a faster sprint thing. But like I said, it brought like the Frosties into the marksman dodge with focused breathing.
Mm-hmm.
What if
so if the bubble were to disorient, that would be really cool. And I think that would probably be the safest thing they could do to a bubble without like causing any kind of excessively overpowered shenanigans.
Yeah.
What if while you're in your bubble, your cooldowns are increased?
Because then you're just trading bubble with like, they're playing musical chairs with bubble and Sunsinger.
Pulse Wave?
No, Sunsinger.
Oh.
What Sunsingers do normally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Song of Fire. Song of Flame is what it's called, where your allies get better. Yeah, then they're just musical chairing that. But at the same time, still, I can see that working too. Yeah. But then, like I said, they're just literally musical chair. All right, you get the defender buffs, and they're going to take your Song of Flame inside of a optional bubble tree. Mm-hmm. So, that's going to be a little...
It'll be interesting to see what they do. If they do anything.
I'm going to... Definitely, that's going to be an interesting... I'm personally just really cool. I'm really excited to see like them like tinkering with the super to that extent. It's like, okay, you can use your super to either bring up the shield or hold a button and, hey, here's your Ward Dawn. Hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, oh, well, hello.
Yeah.
See, I was okay with it either way. Them taking the bubble completely away and giving you a more focused protection, I was okay with because it's in my thinking, it's moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the same way,
I made my peace.
Yeah, exactly. But when I heard it, I was like, okay, cool. You're giving me the option. Like, I could, instead of being like, okay, cool, this is my zone, this is my home, nobody comes in my zone or my home, I can go, I'm moving my home with me, which is okay. Like, which is what, in my head, I think the evolution of the Defender would be. More mobile, more like a breach man type of thinking. Like, oh, we need to go in here, get behind me, fellas, let's go.
I feel like Defender Bubble is such a staple in every raid that they were like, yeah, like tactically, it's such a good thing to have, and we like that mechanics. So that's
PvP
why they were like,
too.
It's
PvP
pretty
is a
exactly
staple.
what Luke Smith said, and he did mention like for PvE, like he did make a slight comment about PvE, like them really like the power fantasy of it in PvE activities and such.
yeah,
So
it
that
helps.
was interesting.
It helps to like build. You can like know when you're building a mechanic for a raid that you're like, oh, they're going to put a bubble here probably. Like, I like that.
And also,
they know us.
I would be remiss also to say it's kind of like them changing Gunslinger, where one path gives you 6 golden gun shots, and the other path presumably still leaves you with the 3.
Yeah, I like that.
As long as it's going to 3. And then last things we've heard is...
Stop messing with her.
no private matches at launch either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which
I think that
is
they're
kinda
working
sad,
on. I think they're working on custom.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of people are, or a lot of the positive people are thinking that. And they did mention, like Luke Smith did mention, I think a Kotaku interview, that by December 6th they will have a way of showing your PvP prowess. What that means, we don't know, because those were his words.
Shader and emblem.
Yeah. But also in the Kotaku, they did mention flashpoints,
Yeah, what is that?
which is a featured location with special monsters, treasure maps, and Nightfall tier rewards. What people are saying is this is basically like the Nightfall of patrols, is what a lot of people are like thinking.
Okay.
It's like you're going to face like flashpoints is just like probably like a mini strike or whatever. Well, I'm going to assume it's probably like a daily mission in a weekly format.
Is it a solo thing or a team thing?
No clue. I mean, all we know is it's a featured location with special monsters, treasure maps, and Nightfall tier rewards.
Do you think it's going to take?
That's awesome.
Do you think that's going to take the place of the public events?
No, because also in the Kotaku interview, Luke Smith has mentioned that there's going to be new enemy rally events. So they're not going to do away with public events, but they are going to. It sounds like they're really fleshing out like a map and the patrol.
Yeah, Buster's about to lose it. He's like, patrols are going to be so much more fun.
Dude, they had me at Lost Sectors. I can do fucking dungeons. I can literally jump feet first into dungeons. Thank you, sir.
Like I'm going to hop into a game with Buster, and he's going to just like fucking jump out woods and be like, who are you? I've been patrolling this area for so long. I don't know.
Halt, who goes there?
Like, I'm just trying to do a Lost Sector, bro.
Woods. You cannot even imagine the things I have seen beyond these brushes.
What's the secret password? New England clam chowder. Would that be the red or the white? Damn it, I know this. All right, doesn't matter. Come on in.
Buster, we got to get you back to orbit. You got to get out of here. What is orbit?
What is this orbit you speak of? We don't
There's
use
other
orbit.
planets to patrol.
You guys are going to get tons of invites that just says, I'm in a dungeon, come help. Leroy Jenkins is going to be the anytime you see the words Leroy Jenkins, just assume I'm in a dungeon.
Leroy!
That's the code for help.
Wait, they're not called dungeons. What are they called? Is that the
Lost Sectors.
That's Lost Sectors?
Yeah, there's. It sounds like dungeons, which
Oh, they're dungeons.
it's weird because I mean, the strike that people were able to play, people have said feels like your fairly average, like Taken King and Beyond strike, which I don't mind because they have some mechanics and some interesting play, so nothing like too horrible to bog you down. It's going to be interesting how they juggle strikes, lost sectors, flashpoints, like all together and make them all feel different. Because this is a lot of crap that they're talking about throwing in and making possibly mid to late game grinds type stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, Because Flashpoint's mentioning Nightfall tier rewards. Oh, and the fact that we have seen a screenshot that, I don't know how many people know this, but I didn't see it in a video, that there's a screenshot for how Nightfalls go with guided games. Nightfalls are going to need Nightfall passes.
Like Chalice cards. Or like the Challenge of Elders.
That's weird.
But nobody's mentioned where we get Nightfall passes, and the character, like on the screen, it made mention that particular character had 10.
You have to get them from the 9, and you get them from the 9 by completing Trials of the 9. You have to go flawless, and then you can get a Nightfall pass.
No.
And no one did the Nightfall ever again.
Nah, very few people did the Nightfall.
Yeah. Even the guys that are getting flawless are like, wait, what are you talking about PvE for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Get your PvE
Can
out
I
of
get
my
a grasp
PvP.
Can I get the new grasp from this Nightfall? No? Oh. Can I get a new icebreaker? No? Whatever. I'm out.
Oh, yeah, and also, one thing I forgot to put in the notes, they have apparently revealed a new weapon type for D2. The linear
SMG.
fusion rifle.
Wait, what's a linear fusion rifle?
This is a fusion rifle. Instead of firing 7 bolts at once,
Fires a beam.
it fires 7 bolts in one beam. So this is like Queen's Breaker Bow /
Yeah, exactly, Ben.
Sleeper Simulant.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Thank you very
This
much.
This is an entirely new weapon type that they are actually adding in. Not a lot of information on it. It's just been seen. The one that they've shown was a Viced weapon. So there's, like I said, there's not a whole lot of information about it, other than we are like thinking / assuming, as far as I know, that it's going to be able to do precision damage, and it's hopefully going to be able, basically like Sleeper, be able to do precision and over-penetrate targets to make up for the fact that it's not firing 7 actual bolts, but one super powerful bolt.
It's like the railgun of fusion rifles.
Yeah, which is what Sleeper was.
Look at the little guardian. Look at him.
This is like the second time I've ever seen Scott's Kid. Great radio here talking about this visual stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Basically, guys, there's a baby in the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
He's a cute little baby staring at his dad.
yeah.
Oh, Father's Day coming up. So
Yeah.
excited.
So Scott, what we were talking about, the linear fusion rifles, lost sectors, basically everything D2 that you missed when you were taking care of the little light. So
Yeah. No more hunter knives.
yeah, no more 100 knives.
Well, at least outside of Gunslinger, it seems. Hey, as long as I can still stick people in the face now with a knife that can explode.
Yeah, I'm
That
super
is-
stoked about that.
That is pretty cool. I will say, when I play Hunter, I'm a gunslinger. I love it. So, like, the throwing knife is super cool, and I like they add the fact that it explodes now. That's even
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
No, I'm so
Yeah,
hyped about that.
Okay, guys.
Destiny E3 news. So.
What did you guys think about the PlayStation exclusives? Because I was on the Destiny Tracker
How about the fact
podcast
that-
last night, and it kind of turned into a, I don't want to say argument, but I want to say a heated debate about why exclusives still exist.
And unless it's from a Bungie dev on why they exist, it's A, because Sony pays out, and B, who cares? They're in. 3 years of complaining didn't fix that, so don't think a 4th year is going to fix that. I mean, I'm sorry, but again, we're going to have to roll with these punches. I mean, I don't like it. I don't really agree with the extent, and it's definitely the extent of...
Yeah, a year is kind of crazy.
Because it's already like an asterisk below the things. It's like exclusives are like timed exclusives until fall 2018.
Yeah.
Here's my whole thing with exclusives, though, is they're really never a huge deal except for Hawkmoon. And if it really is going to bother you that much, then just go buy a PlayStation. It's the same as like, oh, I'm pissed about it only being 30 frames per second. Well, if it really bothers you that much, go buy
PC.
play on PC. Like, we're not saying you can't have them. We're just saying, like, you can't have them on Xbox.
Because we're getting, on the PS4 side, a new strike, a exclusive strike, which we have no idea.
That's worked out so well in the past.
a map Okay. A ship.
Hey, that sniper rifle looks dope, though.
I'm getting to that. A ship, which, all the ships in D2
Oh my god, a fucking
all the
ship.
ships look amazing.
Glorified
in D2.
loading screens.
Yeah.
They call
And
them
the
trinkets,
sniper
I
rifle.
believe.
Yeah. And the sniper rifle, which is the Borealis 3, which changes energy type. It looks
On the
like
fly.
It looks to
The
me like on
commercial-
the reload. Like when
The
he's
commercial has mentioned that you can change elements on the fly.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think you have
that's
to
dope,
reload it.
Interesting.
That's what I would think. Is that every time you
Now-
reload it shifts?
Yeah, they haven't specified like what it was, but they have mentioned that you change elements. Like you don't have to go into a menu like with what was it
Murmur.
called? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. You knew exactly where I was going.
I used to love that gun.
Murmur is amazing. Like for what it was, like, you can choose a element type and it changes the fusion rifle. That's like amazing, man.
And it looked so cool.
That's true too.
The Queensbreaker bow is also in it doesn't change the element, it changes the firing type, which is basically the same. It's sort of in the same vein. I kind of like that. I wish it was more on the fly than I have to go into the gun and change it there. If it was just clicking a stick, it would make it better, but I can't, I'm not a dev, I can't change weapons.
Well, I mean, then for when you're focusing on a game that's like primarily on console, you only have so many buttons to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
them adding class abilities without taking away any like functionality in their buttons is actually a miracle.
Yeah.
They've added a third of it to everybody.
I'm a big fan of that. The class abilities. I think it's going to be awesome. Oh, buddy.
We're all there. We've all been there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the class abilities are really cool. Isn't circle to slide?
Yeah. Circle.
So-
by default, circle slide, but I use my stick.
Don't you have to like hold it down to do that though?
No.
I just hold it down because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be accidentally using my class ability all the time. That's just how that's going to go.
Dude, I did that when I played Borderlands for a week. I was like throwing grenades and blowing myself up.
Yeah, I know that feel too. Like I'll go back to Borderlands 2 and like, oh, this button does not do. Oh crap!
Oh, nothing's worse than because I played a shit ton of Paladins the other day, and then I saw everybody was on. I'm like, oh shit, let's just jump on and play some Destiny. I was sitting here doing all kinds of Paladin moves. I'm like, this is not what I like. I had my super and I hit triangle, and I was like, that's not right. This isn't what I wanted to do.
And fist of change weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I didn't want my super.
crap.
Damn it.
I would walk into an engagement in Borderlands, and I think I was sliding, and then I realized there's no slide in Borderlands, so I'm just awkwardly crouching in front of an enemy, looking up like, "Oh, hi."
Oh, he's so fussy.
I
Yeah.
But though, I mean, from the corners of E3, like, go a little into that. Microsoft has finally unveiled the One X.
Oh.
Bum bum bum. We had an
Oh
interesting
my
conversation
God.
about
I've-
development names yesterday.
Buster thought, which agreeably, the Scorpio does this cool like thing, and it's like, why can't they just stick with their development names? And it's like, Dolphin.
One was called Pam. One was development name was Pam. I think it was the. When was the what was the one we were talking about that was interesting? The Eclipse was the
Katana.
the Katana and the Eclipse. The Eclipse was the Game Boy Advance.
And the Katana was Dreamcast, was
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that
The
was
Sega Katana.
Yeah. Which is dope.
which sort of explained. Oh no, that was Saturn. My bad. I was about to go into a Sega Sanshiro thing.
Maybe Sega Nightmare Cast is a better name for it. Hey.
Nightmarecast. What are you talking about? That thing was
Dreamcast-
ahead of its time.
Yeah. Dreamcast was dope, dude.
All right, I hate
That thing-
Dreamcast.
That thing had an internet connection before internet was even a thing.
Sure, it was
That thing
archaic.
played that thing played an MMO before there were even console MMOs? Other than Phantasy Star Online?
The thing had the worst controller, or the worst cable for a controller of all time.
Okay, legit. But legitimately,
So I picked it up and was
actually
like, nope.
believe- that if Sega would have withheld that for like a generation and came out with a different console, they probably would still be making consoles. I just think that was... I always thought the Dreamcast was just a little ahead of its time. By little, I mean...
No, I agree with you, Raven. I agree with you 100%.
When did that come out? Like PS1?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, around that time.
Well, it was in between the N64 and the
GameCube.
In the GameCube, right?
Yeah. It was between those. But yeah, so PS1 was coming out for sure.
It was the last Sega system.
Yeah, because they were... Yeah, because like PS1, they were hopping onto disc-based content, which I think was also a Saturn thing. But yeah, they were like... While Nintendo was still like screwing around with cartridges, everyone else went to disc.
If you think about
it,
GameCube
survived the console wars. It's like, what the crap?
Think about it. GameCube had the blueprint for a lot of things that we have now, like Smash Brothers. Power Stone was Smash Brothers before Smash Brothers even existed. Before that,
there was that game that never got released, Thrill Kill, that was Smash Brothers before anything.
Yeah.
But no, so interestingly enough, like I actually looked up the side-by-side specs between the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Not much of a better processor, that's for sure, because like PS4 Pro is a 2.1 gigahertz processor. Xbox One X is a 2.3 gigahertz. Ooh.
0.1 better.
It's got like 4 more gigabytes of RAM than a PS4 Pro. Where it really excels, honestly, is the fact that it has like twice, like a GPU that's like almost twice more powerful than the PS4 Pros. Where like the PS4 Pros goes at like 2 point something teraflops, like the One X has like a 4 teraflop GPU.
I love that teraflop is a thing. Let me just can I just say how that seems like it's just like a throwaway word to use for just like anything, but it's actually like it really exists. Like a teraflop is a thing. I fucking love it.
Much like the term spaghettification is an actual scientific term used to describe what happens to you in a black hole event horizon.
It's what happens when you go through a black hole.
Yeah,
you get spaghettified.
Yeah, that is legitimately the scientific term used. Is spaghettification.
It's stretched out.
Yeah,
it's stretched out beyond time and space. I think is the simple definition. If I listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson Star stuff enough, he had an episode about superheroes, and oh god, we're doing such RNG tangent thing. It was, what do you think Thor's hammer was made of? And he's like, oh, a dying star. Right before a star collapses into itself, it becomes super dense, and it makes sense why only a hero could lift it. And then one of the questions was, what would happen if Superman flew through a black hole? He was like, oh, he would be spaghettified. And then he explained it, and my head literally like exploded. Like, how does Flash? One of the questions was, how does Flash time travel? And he's like, well, he's moving faster than light, basically, because everybody knows that Flash can. Well, at his max power, can run through time and space. And he's like, oh, it makes sense because he's breaking through the barriers. And I'm like, man, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are the smartest. It makes my head hurt.
Now, I mean, but that's one of the cool thing about him is the fact that he's not throwing away these ideas as like, like not possible or anything. But he's actually putting himself in the headspace of these superhero universes where these things are possible. And he's like, well, yeah, of course this makes sense because he can move faster than light. Not the fact that like no human can possibly move fast. Nothing can move past like break the light barrier. It's not possible.
And his cells,
you're so dumb.
And the reason he can do it is his cells are moving that fast as well.
Yeah.
And then he explains if his cells weren't, he would be tore apart instantly.
Yeah.
And then he said maybe one of the things is when he does when he does run through time, he's running into a version of himself. Like that version stops existing, and he runs into he's kind of instantaneously transmitting himself between multiple dimensions. Dude, it blew my fucking mind.
Which is exactly what DC did with the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, dude. If you don't listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson Star Talk, it's like you might be smart, but you're not Neil deGrasse Tyson smart. That's a different level of smart.
Also, speaking of which, the Epic Rap Battles of History that had Neil deGrasse Tyson's character on it is an amazing rap because it actually features Weird Al Yankovic as Isaac Newton.
I'm about to say, isn't that when he comes in like as the the surprise.
Why don't you pick on the brain your own size?
And he drops the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, that was a great episode. But, so it does have like an amazing GPU, and the fact that it will have a 4K Blu-ray player, apparently. Other than that, that's it. It costs $100 more.
Mm-hmm.
Like that $100, you can buy a PS4 Pro and at some point in time a 4K Blu-ray player, and you're still going to get the same experience because while yes, the GPU is better on a 1X, there's not enough processor to support. I mean, going off Bungie's current stand on, the fact that a console can't handle 60 with 4K or 60 with as many things as they have going on screen. Current consoles just don't have enough CPU to manage a decent frame rate, apparently, or advanced frame rate, should I say. And that's not changing, I don't think, on the 1X, because I don't think that's enough processing power to be able to kick that up. I mean, like I said, GPU is going to be able to handle things even better, but it doesn't have as much like an over-exaggerated kick in CPU to be able to science computers bullcrap.
Dylan,
to be able to render
go unlock the door for Jess.
Blah 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 in the flux capacitor.
Exactly. Feed it a banana, you're good to go.
Eat a
feed it a banana, and then go over what 80 mile 60
88
1.1
gigawatts.
Oh god. So yeah, the 1X is out, or coming out, and it's a thing with $100.
And there's Bella.
$100 more than a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Otherwise, same like strategy marketing. They're going to have games for normal Xbox One, but then they're going to have X enhanced games.
So wait, are there games that are only going to be able to be played on the Xbox One X?
They're probably not going to do that because Sony's not doing that because they don't want to restrict their market.
Yeah. See, what I thought was that they're going to come out with the Xbox One X, and then eventually it's going to be a thing where they're like, I don't know, a couple years down the line, they're like, all right, we're going to start making games just for this.
No, because if they're going to do that in the long run, they might as well just make a new generation of consoles, like just a new flat-out generation of consoles.
That's true.
So
it reminds me
because that's what they're going to lead up to.
Because they keep advertising it as like, this is where developers are going to want to make games. They're going to want to make it on a process or a GPU that can handle all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, but like, this still has to work on an Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Right. It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember the Sega 32X like Mega Drive, where you stick it in the console and then you stick the cartridge on top of it, and it's supposed to enhance all the graphics and stuff. That's what it sounds like they're doing, except for it's all in a box.
Do you remember the expansion pack for the N64? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The expansion pack that you have to use to play Perfect Dark, which I just played because I'm a shooter noob. It's funny, like it's legitimately the first time I ever played a first person shooter was fucking Black Ops 2, and then I was like, oh, I like shooters, so I went back and started playing all the other shooters that I've never played. So like, I have an N64 with GoldenEye, so now I understand all the references. Like, if you play Oddjob, you're a dickhead. Like, I get all the references now.
Or
Star
Jaws.
Wars Dark Forces was my first shooter.
Oh yeah, okay.
Way back in
GoldenEye
the
was
golden
mine.
age of Windows 96.
Actually, GoldenEye was not my first shooter. It was Wolfenstein on the computer.
The grandpappy of all shooters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad was like, oh, here's this game, and you're like, okay.
Instantly regretted it because it's super. It's like, oh god, I'm shooting everything.
My first actual exposure to shooters was we were in the PC store buying like my first family computer, and they had a computer set up. So like my brother and I were like, hey, there's something going on here. Let's go play with it. We just started pressing keys. Keep in mind, I was like 10 at the time. My brother's 8. So we're walking around and we're like shooting stuff, and then we run out of ammo and we're punching things to death. There's like, 8-pixel blood everywhere. We're like, this game's pretty awesome. It was Doom. They had Doom set up in the fucking, like on the demo computer. And I think about that now and I'm like, how could, like, it's amazing they could get away with that. Somebody had to put that on, because like now you'd see Doom on a computer, and if it's like outside of a game store or something where like, like if it's at the level where kids can touch it,
and you see like a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old playing Doom while their parents people would freak.
Now get this also. Original arcade posters for Mortal Kombat had 2 like 8 and 10-year-old kids playing it while being put to the game by like Raiden and Kano. You're not going to see that advertising now.
No, kids are kind of soft nowadays.
Yeah, I my friend was in arcades playing it Mortal Kombat.
Shit.
Mashing them buttons, boy.
Remember when your parents used to drop you off at arcades and be like, "Here's $20"?
Yeah.
Nope.
Remember that? No.
I'll be back
too
in 3
young.
hours. See you later.
My parents didn't give me $20. They're like, you can hang out in the arcade and watch the games and stuff, but we ain't giving you money. I was like, shit.
I mean, I played a little bit when we go to the movie theater. You know what I mean? My dad would be like, "Hey, let's play this House of the Dead or something like that." But like, my favorite was always the one with the motorcycle that you could like actually lean.
You're younger than Raven and I, right?
I'm 28.
Yeah, well, not very much. I don't understand. Yeah, you're not.
I know, right?
Do you remember Pod Racer?
Oh fuck yeah, bro!
Did you have any
man.
arcades in your city growing up?
Actually, get in.
No, it was all like Fuddruckers and fucking movie theaters.
Okay, see, that's the ticket there because I was in a for Alabama, it was a fairly large city. I mean, it was like one of the largest, but we had an Aladdin's Castle in the mall, so yeah. And it just so happened to be like across the road from where my mom worked, so they'd drop like my dad would come pick me up from school, hand me $5, drop me off at the arcade. A couple hours later, my mom would pick me up and we'd go home.
Perfect.
Like that was their baby. The arcade was their babysitter for a while.
You guys remember that Aerosmith game at the arcade?
Yeah, you have to shoot the records.
Yep.
Music was outlawed.
There's like girls like dancing in cages in the background.
Oh my god.
It was literally a Disturbed lyric. Use my music as a weapon. Truth, it was. Rock the Revolution.
Wow.
It's a Disturbed lyric.
There's so many games. There's so many games I'm into now.
I'm good at skee-ball because of the arcades. Let's just be honest.
know, right?
Because my dad was like, "Here's $20, kid. I'll see you later." And I'm like, "All right, bye, Dad."
Like I said,
using the knuckle puck.
Mashing them buttons in the original Soul Edge, Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 3. I just kept mashing them buttons because I was a teenager. I didn't know what the crap I was doing.
Mm-hmm. There's combos? No. Low kick, low kick, low kick, low kick, low kick, low kick, low kick.
Sweep the leg,
yeah.
sweep the leg.
Oh, hey.
sweep the leg.
Yeah, check out this new move I just learned to do. Hadouken, 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 Hadouken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've been playing Street Fighter recently. Check out some emulators, and it is just fucking cracking me up. The game is so
It's bad. Like, find like the original Street Fighter somehow and play that.
computers.
I don't know if the milk.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Dry
Like,
cereal?
track down the original Street Fighter. That is
You think
Oh,
of playing
it's
Street
amazing.
Fighter 2 like Turbo or something like that.
There's an original Street Fighter because the only game I've ever seen was Street Fighter 2.
yeah. There was
Honestly,
it was like,
I've never seen the original one.
it was like late 1980s. It only had 2 playable characters. Like if you played the quote unquote arcade mode, you played Ryu, and the only way you saw Ken was because he was a red palette swap of Ryu when you were playing against someone. They only had 3 moves. It was Fireball, Shoryuken, Hurricane Kick. Those were their moves. But they didn't have like the original motions to them. Like a Fireball was like down, down, forward, forward, punch.
No shit.
So yeah, it was like
It sounds like
weird.
vaguely familiar, but I'm trying to picture it, and I know I've seen screenshots, and I may have seen the arcade games, but I'm like, I was thinking of them. Like, I'm thinking, I've never seen the original Street Fighter like on a game console.
It looks
No,
terrible. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh yeah, like originally it was bad. Like I didn't remember it in arcade. Like my first exposure, really, like that I can remember in arcades to Street Fighter was 2.
Yeah.
If you
Because
think
Street Fighter
about it,
2 was freaking everywhere. Almost everyone had some version of Street Fighter 2. The Walmart my parents shopped at had Street Fighter 2, like just hanging around, and it's like arcade game at Walmart. All right, let's go. Mom, can I have $1?
what would you do if you saw any of these people fighting in the street ever?
Run.
Yeah. Like
Screw that. I'm putting it on YouTube and I'm getting famous.
World Star.
I'm just like, never picture like, or like if you got into a street fight and all of a sudden this dude throws a fucking fireball at you, you're just like, oh god damn it!
I'm out. I'm out. I'm running like hell.
some dude's arms are just stretching and fucking flapping you. You're just like, what the fuck is this?
What if you got slapped 100 times by a big sumo wrestler?
Yeah.
Which is my shit, by the way. E-Honda all day.
I mean, that, and then at least with them, you have a chance of surviving. I mean, you're going to hurt, but you're going to survive. But the kicker is, like, your opponent is wearing black. His eyes glow. His words are only Mitsu. It's like Akuma, man. He fights to the death.
A buddy of mine posed a question, which I will pose to you guys. Because when you work in a warehouse, you have all the time in the world, and sometimes when you do work, your mind wanders. We were both in the aisle freezing our dicks off, and it was like negative 20 degrees on Thursday in the freezer. And he pulled his mask and he goes, "Yo." And I heard him through my headphones, and I turned down my headphones, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he goes, "Would you give up 2 years of your life to go to a monastery and learn chi and one special technique?" I was like, without a doubt. Without a doubt. 2 years? Without a doubt. To learn how to focus chi and learn one technique, like one super technique, all day. All day. So my question is, would you guys do that? And if so, what would your technique be?
I'll go ahead and start by saying yes, and B, if you're learning your chi and learning a technique, the rest will come. So actually, at that point in time, I don't even care. I'll probably go Hadouken, just be lame. Like, give it that range at first, but yeah, totally.
Destructo Disc. That's what I would want to learn.
I mean, it could be, you can make up your own technique. It's not, you don't have to go off of something you've already seen.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't even know if I'd go. I'd be like, but then I have to like do shit.
Then I'd have to do shit. I'd be gone.
I'd probably do it. My first thought was with Raven do like the Hadouken fireball thing, but now that I think more about it, you could probably focus it like supers in Destiny. So maybe some sort of like charge melee, so you could punch somebody and they light on fire and go flying back. That'd be kind of crazy.
I want to fist of havoc. I was literally just thinking that, and you're like, oh, Destiny, and I was like, yeah, I would just want to learn how to fist of havoc people.
Mine would be Terry Bogard. Buster Wolf.
Mine would be the like a knife edge or a spear hand that just projects energy out, sort of like a Gasuga Tenjo from Bleach. Call it Heaven's Spear Slicer or some shit like that. Some weird technique name. My buddy was like, dude, mine would be Mountain Crushing Palm. I would just plant my feet and throw my palm out and palm strike people. I'm like, because a palm strike is the most disrespectful of strikes, followed secondly and only by 1A by the headbutt. The headbutt is the most disrespectful because you're literally sacrificing your face and brain to injure someone else.
or you can pull a Power Rangers movie and just slap someone.
Yeah.
Did you just slap me? Yeah. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Backhand.
Because
it wasn't even a backhand, man. It was
a full pimp slap. It was a full.
Yeah. It was
like Turner. Eat your cake anime.
Smack the crap out of one dude too, man.
The RNG guest does not condone spousal abuse or any abuse of any kind. I just wanted to make that reference.
It's for the sake of comedy.
Yeah.
You don't condone these things. It's just comedy, people.
Get off my back, Reddit.
Because remember, yeah. Fuck you, Cheeto fingers. My this last week when we were talking to Young Khan, a buddy of mine who is a listener, was like, dude, you were talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. I'd never seen it. I watched the entire series over the weekend. I was like, how did you watch an entire series over the weekend? And he's like, I didn't watch any of the commercials. I just fast forwarded. I'm like, oh my God, there's no commercials. What did you do? He's like, I found it online. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it was subbed. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's on Hulu. You can find it on Netflix, I think. Or just ask me. I have the entire series on DVD. He was like, I didn't have time. I just found it. And he was like, yeah, you're right. The first 25 episodes were slow as shit. And then all of a sudden, they were like, you sat through the turtle into the rabbit. And then he was like, I didn't know that the atavism of Mazuku was such an amazing beatdown. I'm like, yeah, dude, I told you. And he was like, he headbutted him in the air. I'm like, it's anime. Get used to it. I was like, is that the first time you ever seen anime? He was like, yes. I'm like, welcome to the club.
Oh my god!
I wrote down a bunch of anime. I'm like, here you go. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, no, you won't. He called out the next day. I'm like, this motherfucker.
That's so funny.
He messaged me. He's like, dude, I watched Hunter x Hunter. I'm like, that's Yu Yu Hakusho next level. It's by the same author, the same animators. It's overpowered. It's great. And he was like, dude, I didn't know anime existed. I'm like,
oh
what?
my god.
I gagged. I was like, what? Welcome to the revolution. Here you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know anime existed. Oh, bud.
Where are you from?
Under a rock. Apparently.
Well, it's easy for us because we were, like, you and me were in the age range that there were two very iconic anime. The only reason why they're iconic because they made it into they had theatrical releases over here. Mm-hmm. That is Akira and Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah,
those actually had American theatrical release. I didn't see them in theaters, but I remember seeing them on the billboards, and it's like,
yep.
The crap is Ghost in the Shell.
I remember sitting. My son watches anime. When he was little, he was running around going fireball jutsu and then doing the hand signs right. Literally, he corrected me. I'm like, no, that was wrong. He's like, no, Dad, this is right. And he was like, wolf, snake, dragon. I'm like,
blow his mind. It's Kain no Jutsu.
I was like, I love you so much. And then he was like, Dad, I'm going to watch this anime movie. It's called Ninja Scrolls. Like, no. And I fucking hauled ass, I fucking slid like baseball to hit stop. I was like, no. I can't explain to you why that girl is poison. I can't do it. You're too young. You're too young, son.
Ninja Scroll is freaking out there. Holy crap.
Ninja Scroll is like 3% away from hentai. It's 3% away.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's
quick aside. Speaking of, so we play Cards Against Humanity with my real life fire team, Gray Fox and Sires of Webhead, and so it's like me and my wife and Sire and his girlfriend and Gray Fox and his wife, and we're all twisted motherfuckers. We all got dark senses of humor, which is why we're playing Cards Against Humanity. And the rule we play at his house is that if you don't know what something is, you have to look it up on Google using Siri or like, Cortana, whatever the voice command is, and you have to read it out loud to everyone. So there was a joke about tentacle porn at one point. And we're all just like, oh! And so Gray Fox, his wife, just stares blankly, and she's like, I don't get it. What's tentacle porn? And we all just looked at each other. We're like, look it up. She's like,
you enjoy that.
Like, you got to look it up. And Gray Fox is sitting next to her. He's like, no, honey, you got to do the image search. The look of horror on her face.
Last night we were in a fire team, and it was Raven and I and a couple other guys, and we had like a little rotating fire team, and we had Kit Kutcher from the Massive Breakdown podcast, and we were talking, and he was like, hey Buster, I let my wife listen to episode 22 about the Frozen Gummy Bear episode, and I'm like, oh god. And she was like, she laughed because it's a funny story, but she was puzzled because of your friend's acceptance of it. I'm like, oh no, you gotta understand, he's the best wingman ever. That's what he was. That's what he did. We took him for that reason. He was the wingman of wingmans.
He takes one for the team.
Oh, he sure does. He would look at me. He would look at me. He's like, "I'm your Huckleberry," and that's how I would know he was down. I'd look at him like, "Can you do this? I'm your Huckleberry." That's my man right there. Wingman of the lifetime is what he like. I went shortly thereafter. I had to go home because my grandfather passed away, and somehow through my many flights, I got a pair of the pilot's wings. Like the pilots wear the wings from like United or whatever. And when I got back, I was like, I got you a gift, dude. And he was like, what? And I handed him the wings. He was like, like it was the greatest thing in the world. I was like, someone just gave it to me because they found out like that was their way of saying my condolences, and I gave it to you because you're the best wingman ever. And he was like, I will treasure these always. And I still talk to him, and he listened to that episode, and he was like, dude, you had to tell the story. I'm like, listen, I have so many more stories to tell about you, sir. Don't tempt me. And he was like, he sent me a picture of the wings. He's like, I still got these. He keeps them in his wallet.
Nice.
Like his wallet has wings, like indented in, like the old school when you used to carry a condom with you in your wallet.
Yeah.
Remember that day? Remember those days when when you would go on a date and you would pull your wallet out to pay for dinner, and there would be that circle of like hope. Be like, I hope this ends well. Oh. Well, Ben took a bathroom break. We can move on to E3 hype. Yeah. So,
gentlemen, what have you seen in E3 that you're excited for?
I want to hear what you're excited for, Raven.
Duh, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah, we talked about.
I mean, come on. Like I said, Marvel's Capcom Infinite got announced, and it was like the best news ever because that meant Marvel and Capcom's like relationship was basically restored, and the fact that another MVC title was going to be made, and now Arc Systems, the makers of Guilty Gear, are officially announced. 3v3 tag team freaking Dragon Ball Fighter with 2D. It's like, holy balls.
It looks so good.
Oh god, it looks so good. And there's been like one of the people I follow on YouTube, Maximilian Dude. Mm-hmm. Great fighting game coverage dude. Anyway, he actually had hands-on E3 experience, and he like talked about how it felt and everything. It is like going to be a very easily accessible game. Like he made mention, like basically mashing. It's like mashing on one of the attack buttons is going to give you like a full ground combo, a pop up, an aerial continue, and a smackdown to the ground. So, like, it's going to be it's going to be very, very accessible. There's a bunch of mechanics that they haven't quite been able to like pin down because, of course, it was like in a line and such. So there's going to be some in-depth mechanics, and like I said, easily accessible. Sounds like an amazing fighter. Like, it's from the people that did Guilty Gear, so of course it's going to have like off-the-wall, crazy-looking stuff. And
my favorite fighting game was Guilty Gears.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing. I was worried at first because I thought it might have been an Xbox exclusive, but everywhere I'm seeing is listing it for PS4, PC, and the Xbox One. So we might get it a little later, but yeah, I'll wait.
Did you guys watch the Xbox press conference?
I watched most of them.
A bit of it.
Okay. Don't you feel like it was kind of a little bit misleading when they're like exclusive every time, and you're like, yeah, it says launch exclusive, and like, what does that mean? And you're like, oh, it's a timed exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Like, maybe, but then again, like I said, I haven't heard anything about an actual exclusivity period for like Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah, but you know how like most of their games they did that, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
like they did it for like, I don't know.
Oh, dudes. And let me say how hype I am for freaking 4K graphics Minecraft.
Whoa, bro.
Jig McBoy123 is excited. For those of you obviously not watching because we're not streaming this, there are two babies on the screen. And me as a dad, I'm remembering those days, and I'm like, God, I miss those days. And then in my head, I'm thinking, my inner Buster goes, no, you don't.
Yeah, I can show you the diaper I changed earlier, man.
You have a 12-year-old. You know how dope that is? That you don't have to change diapers? You could just go, Dad, I'm hungry. Okay, cool. You know where the kitchen is?
Exactly.
He can fix his own food. It's so awesome. But
the moment that they get self-sufficient.
You know what's great about your friends having babies? You can just give them back. Like, my godson is 3, and he's awesome because he literally is Choji from Naruto. He's a little tubby, chubby dude, and I fucking love him because he'll like run up to me and slap his belly and open his arms, and I'm like, oh yes, and I'll like palm his little face and I'll shake him up and I'll turn him upside down and I'll get him all excited and I'll give him back.
Make him all hyper.
Yeah,
give him back.
Oh no, he's hyper anyway. He's hyper anyway. But the kid has like, he has a little. His middle sister is I think 2 years older than he is. Yeah, because she's in kindergarten. He's 3, and he's as tall as she is. They look like twins, and he is the roughest kid I've ever seen for having 2 sisters. Like he'll be running, and his sister will be like, "Give me a hug," and he'll literally just palm strike her in the face and push her down, and I'm like. And I've been through a kid. I know not to react when kids eat shit and fall. If he falls and I'm like, "You're all right, get up," and he's like, "Okay."
Yes, I am. If you're like, "Oh," they're like,
but I'll go to
wait, what is it bad?
Yeah, I'll go to my buddy's house and I'll have like, a pre-workout ready, or a branched chain amino acid, or a protein shake, and he's like, "Give me some," and I'm like, "No, I'm not giving you this. This will, branched chain amino acid, whatever, it's fine. A pre-workout shake, post-workout shake, it's like, chocolate milk free, whatever, that's fine. But like if I'm going there before the gym and I have a pre-workout, I'm like, no, your parents would hate me forever. I would put you in this will put you in like the second zone."
I gave my 3-year-old nephew his first beer because I left it out on the table and he just walks up.
You knocked your mic loose. There you go.
Give me a sec. Yeah, he just picked it up and started fucking chugging it.
Yeah.
Started chugging that beer.
It's a rite of passage. As an uncle, you have no choice. Like, I'm looking at my true nephew, because my sister has kids, and I'm looking at him like, soon you will have your first taste of beer, and it will be because of me. And my sister will hate me. Because my son, fun little fact, growing up, you know how kids say things weird?
Yeah.
He would say truck, but it would sound like fuck. Or he would say the word bushy, and it would sound like another word that kind of sounds like bushy, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. I didn't want to say it because I got fucking an angry worded letter one time for saying another word that's synonymous with it. And my sister would have him come up to me and say, "Daddy, you're a big bushy." And I looked at her and I was like, "One day you will have kids and I will pay you back for this." And I did. In spades.
So, one time, I don't know if Ben was in this fire team. It was a Friday night. We were playing private matches before we were going to hit a raid. And we were on comms, and one of my friends has a 4-year-old, and you could hear him in the background. He's like running around. He's like, "Mama, Mama," and he's talking to her. She's talking to him. So at one point, I know one of the dudes from the DGS Discord, Renegade Siggy, was in it, and he sniped her like cross map. It was just a filthy snipe, and she's just like, "Oh, you motherfucker." And then her son is like, Mama, you said fuck. And she's like, "Oh, Torin, no." And we're laughing at this point, like just hysterics. We're like, whoops.
When kids cuss, it's always funny. But you never laugh,
so
because
funny.
If you laugh, you're just enforcing it,
And we were just antagonizers the whole time.
But to get back into the E3 hype, because we go on tangents, Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh my god. I was so fucking hyped when I saw that.
That came up and I was like, I gotta buy that game again.
Literally earlier that day, we were talking about Shadow of the Colossus, and I was like, yeah, like I tried to play it, but I just couldn't because like it just looks so bad now. And then
looks fucking
gorgeous.
Go
home, see that, and I was like, yes, I can play that game.
And I think everybody, Anthem.
Oh yeah,
I know. I've heard a lot of hype through Anthem, but I haven't seen anything impressive. So
you want to hear something crazy? I saw that somebody's already making an Anthem podcast.
Yeah,
I was like,
no doubt. There's like a hype. There's like a hype following behind it already.
Yeah, it's a third person. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be the Destiny killer." I'm like,
it's going to be a Destiny rival. I hope it's fucking awesome because I love.
I do too. That's what I'm going to say. I love the idea.
Destiny killer, like the Division.
I didn't want to say it. Division's not bad though. Now they did a lot of changes in life.
Dead
now,
Oh.
actually, now Division is a better game than Destiny. Like legit. I'll say it. I have the balls to say that statement. Division knows how to reward you now. Now, it didn't to begin with, but now it does.
Yeah, now it's rough to get. I'll say it's a fun game. It's fun.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like they're tweaking. Like the new difficulty they added not long ago is like really amazing too. But yeah, like speaking of, like crazy things, it's like hilarious because Destiny, like serious news coverage started its first E3 reveal, which was like a year before the E3 reveal that led to the beta. So it's not surprising me that Anthem's already getting some hype and some podcast attention.
No, they're trying to do a Guardian Radio for Anthem. Be the first one, be the longest running one. I understand it.
That's actually Destiny's longest running is Destiny the show, run by BBK Dragoon. He actually like made like took the Destiny the show name and made a website. Like there was Planet Destiny wasn't a thing yet. Basically, I don't think. Like when he set up that website,
Guardian Radio.
Were they out before?
Yeah,
I don't know. Their claim is that they're the longest running Destiny podcast.
They've been saying it every week now. So
I don't know. Well, I mean, I didn't care back when, like I said, I heard I didn't get hyped for Destiny until beta anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't see the reason of having a podcast before the game's even out. You're just talking.
Exactly.
You're speculating.
That's like us being a Destiny 2 centric podcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why? There's like so little information to say about Destiny 2.
But I can say what's cool. I mean, Anthem got my attention because you get power suits, which who doesn't like the power armor from Fallout 4? I just got mine and I'm loving it. I mean, I've had mine from the beginning.
You mean the power armor from Fallout 3?
Well, no, it's different now. Instead of just being armor, you have to.
Or you mean the power armor from Fallout
1?
1?
Yeah. But
Scrub?
It looks. Everybody's like, "Oh, well, you can fly anywhere." I'm like, "Hold on a second. I think the flying down from the tower, or whatever you want to call it, the Citadel. I don't care what you call it. It's a fucking tower for me.
Yeah.
You're the last city surrounded by a wall. I get it.
That's the tower.
It's the tower.
Yeah.
And it showed them flying, and I'm like, cool. Maybe that's their flying in from orbit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It never
about
showed them
building a
on the
game
ground
like that.
shooting and then all of a sudden flying somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But
Well,
it
I
still
mean,
looks
that.
good.
It's like any game that has flying. Everyone's always going to be flying. That's just how.
The Destiny 1 fight arc actually had the ships like loading, like dropping off people while in patrol, like type deal. Like there was an entire animation for that.
it would drive by and just drop
patrol
you off.
Transmatic.
Yeah, their ship. Yeah, their ship would actually fly through. They transmat down. Their ship would like fly off, which is understandable why that didn't carry over because that probably would take. I mean, you talk about the people that a freaking patrol can hold. All of a sudden, like 10 different ships fly in, and like
it's up to
like
16, I
crashes.
think, right? 16, for instance.
So yeah,
Do we know if we're going to have bigger fire teams in patrol, or is it still
I hope.
3?
I think it's still going to be 3. Everything I've heard so far says 3, but I mean,
I haven't heard anything official.
yeah, it hasn't been anything official.
Did you guys ever get 6 in the Archon's Forge?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the
Oh
time.
yeah, dude!
Our
so
record-
much fun.
Actually, my personal record is 8.
8 all in the same party in the Archon's Forge.
Yes, we
Oh,
did
love
cheat,
it.
and we did use a couple blueberries that popped in, but we did have 8 people.
Yeah,
I want to say there was
Or was it
one
8?
point where we had 8 or 9 in Court of Oryx, and it
I
was
loved
like
that.
it was so fun because it was like a Friday night, and it started out as like 3 of us, and then 3 of our clanmates saw us playing court, and they're like, "Yo, let us in." So like we got blueberries to let them in, and it was just like it ended up being like I want to say there was like 8 of us or 9 of us, and then there was like probably another 3 or 4 blueberries. So there was just like 12 guardians in there just fucking everything up.
Nothing,
Dude, that was the best.
nothing is more fun than when you run into the Court of Oryx or the Archon's Forge, and there's like 2 people set up already there, and then you run in and you open it, you use a key, and then you jump in, and then you beat them, and they invite you to the chat, and then 2 more people show up, and you're just like, oh, the party's on, and no one wants to leave once you get like a solid, and then
Oh yeah,
like I've literally had people invite me, and then they invited blueberries, and they jumped into the the chat, and then we were all just like talking and having fun, and you get like 6 or 7 people in, and then you're just no one wants to leave. You're
It's
like,
fun.
my postmaster is guaranteed full, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
super
mean-
funny too because I was doing the public events thing for the Age of Triumph book, and I, my buddies and I, when we have like 15 minutes on a Friday night, he had to watch one of his kids, so like he's on kid duty. We just jump into Archons and run that for Rise of Iron, and it was awesome. So like we stopped doing that because obviously we didn't need anything else from Archons, so we just kind of went on and do other things. So the other night I was on, it was late night, I was solo, and I jumped in Archon's Forge, and it wasn't with like my Hunter who needs leveling up and my Warlock. I went in there with my Titan. And there was already 3 people in there, and it was just, we were just fucking smashing everything. And it was so funny because in between we'd all line up on that same, like that platform to the right? No, the left of the, like if you're facing down into the forge, there's that platform on the left that shoots fire out, like next to the main orb thing. We all lined up on there and would dance, and then somebody would jump up and throw in one of the offerings, and it would kick it off again. So then we just all go crazy again.
Yeah, man, I love those long.
Good.
No. Ben, your mic.
Oh, yeah.
My pulling on it.
Oh.
Just being a little punk.
She's like, no, Dad.
Oh, I'll mute you, Dad. Yeah.
I will actually say also, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Assassin's Creed Origins is going to turn out. Because this is the first time they've taken a break to actually develop a game since, like, between, like, 1 and 2. Or, like, 2 and Brotherhood or something like that. But there's only been, like, one gap between Assassin's Creed, and ever since then, they just made them, like, year after year after year after year. So I'm actually excited to see, like, how this one's going to turn out when, once again, they actually put some time behind the development phase.
I can say 2 games that looked very, very interesting to me was Vampire and Monster Hunter World. Because I remember playing Monster Hunter.
I've heard
briefly.
about that. What is that game? Because I've never played it.
Vampire or Monster Hunter? Which one?
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter is, pretty much...
You go out and hunt monsters.
Play a monster hunt. Yeah, you go and hunt monsters, and then you use their stuff.
It's a JRPG type deal. It's
Okay.
You'll get
literally
like
fight
scales. You'll use that to make armor or bones to make a weapon, and you just evolve it. It's. Would you say it's massively multiplayer, Raven?
No. This
No.
one, no.
Oh, okay.
It's
cool.
more. It might be co-op. Like, I didn't hear much about this one, so it might be massive, but like it might have co-op elements, but I don't think it will be massive because there's usually like keywords that especially Japanese developers use when describing MMOs, like from console franchises. And like I said, Monster Hunter World doesn't really use them, but it definitely might have like a co-op, but I don't know 100%. What else was it? There's one thing. Oh yeah, Detroit. That game. Seems very interesting. Where you're like, it's apparently like you're playing, it's almost like a Deus Ex, but it's like, that's another thing I haven't looked too much into, but it seems like you're choosing, like you're playing an android and you're having to choose how to start a rebellion against mankind, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it slightly uncomfortable.
I mean,
sounds cool.
Either way, it looked like really cool because like there's certain actions you can take, like to get through things. Like you can choose like duck behind a car to avoid detection, or just like straight run, or what, blighted this, blighted that. So I don't know like what kind of gameplay it's going to have, but like I say, it's piqued my interest.
It sounds pretty awesome.
I can show you Monster Hunter World, the trailer, but I'll just put it in the chat so you can watch it after we're done.
All right.
You know, considering it doesn't really matter. I could do it. We've learned how to share screens. We're evolving.
We're learning how to do the things.
We're learning how to, we've only been doing a podcast for 57 fucking weeks. We learned how to do it like 3 weeks ago. How to share screens like 3 weeks ago.
I may have been mind blown when Biz said we could do that, and it's like, wait, what? It's like, yes, the plus button's like, oh, that's what that does.
Yeah, I've been looking at it for like fucking the entire time, and I'm like, what does that do? I know I can add people. That's how I add people to the call. But I'm like, what is this share screen you speak of? But
and freaking Battlefront 2. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. Are they going to have a campaign this time, or is it just going to be like straight PvP?
I think so.
Cool.
Because I mean, the first reveal trailer it actually has a setting. It is actually set between episodes 6 and 7. It is like
nice. That's
yeah.
awesome.
It is like the second Death Star blew up, but the Emperor is dead. Oh, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen episode 6, I guess, because that's relevant. I guess.
Return of the Jedi. It's 1980. What?
Yeah,
3
I
or
think
something.
you need a spoiler warning for a 20-some-year-old movie.
If you haven't seen it by now, that's your own fault. But anyway,
that's on you.
So yeah, the Emperor's dead, and it's like the campaign is apparently going to focus on like one of his like secret like royal guard or whatever, and how
Oh, no shit.
apparently they like take over the Empire to try and strike back at the rebels or something for like the Emperor's like honor or whatever.
That's crazy.
So yeah, they have an actual setting, so I'm hoping they definitely have a story mode.
Oh, man. Now I'm probably going to buy that. Because the first... Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was going to make a joke. Go ahead.
All right. The first Battlefront I bought, I played it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I mean, the most fun I had with that was the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And the
Oh, yes, the freaking, the flight sim stuff. Yes,
So good. So good. So, we started playing, again, me, Gray Fox, and Sire, we started playing Heroes versus Villains, and we didn't have like a full team. It was just like the three of us. And the thing we ran into all the time with Heroes versus Villains was everybody wanted to be the Imperials. And if they ended up as like the rebels, they'd just quit. So it would end up being like Luke Skywalker and 3 stormtroopers and the 3 villains, Vader, Boba Fett, and the Emperor. And so it was just like a constant quit, because like Han Solo had that pistol that was super strong, and then I think Princess Leia had like a shield generator, but it wasn't a good shield generator, like a defender bubble. Like people could still shoot through it and whatever. So, but that's awesome, because I liked the Battlefront 2 on PS2, I think it was. It followed the prequel story of the 501st Stormtroopers. Which was fucking awesome. I made it, I want to say like 3/4 of the way through that game, and before I had to like quit because real life work and stuff. But, it was, I loved that, and it was so much fun. The only beef that I had was the AI stormtroopers that you were with. Like, you hit the D-pad a certain direction, you're like, get this guy to back you up and attack, and they wouldn't like attack. They just charge into fire like human meat shields, and you're like, okay, well, that would have been really helpful if you shot your gun, but thanks for taking that bullet for me.
But yeah, they're like expanding in Battlefront 2, like
Nice.
because they're going to be having heroes from
Episode 7.
all stretches
of
of the franchise. Like Darth Maul is going to be a hero.
Yep.
Rey and
10, right?
Kylo Ren are going to be playable like hero units. Clone troopers are going to be a playable thing, as well as the battle droids from the Trade Federation.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you're going to be able to play a battle droid.
That's awesome. I've seen like the trailer.
Oh, Roger.
Jar Jar Binks.
Go away.
Please, no.
You leave right now.
Please, no.
Oh, you mean the Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks? Because that's a theory.
Oh God,
I know,
don't
it's
start me on that.
ridiculous. It's like no.
He's just he's the clown shoe of the series.
The only what people need to do is people need to cut. Like, I was okay with episode 1, but in episode 2, just use any footage that has Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're good to go. Mm-hmm. Like, ignore everything else that happens in episode 2 and 3.
Pretty much.
Has anybody done that on the internet yet?
Yeah.
If they are, they're my hero, because like I said, because I try to be open-minded about movies, but when you take Darth Vader and make him like the biggest punk in the world as Anakin Skywalker, it's like,
and then you watch Rogue One and you totally redeem yourself.
Not really. But anyway,
he's kind of a little whiny.
Because Kyle Katarn is a better character. I'm sorry.
My beef with Anakin Skywalker was I feel like they didn't write him well for the movies. They made him like a real whiny bitch. Whereas if you watch the Clone Wars animated series, he's awesome.
Oh yeah,
he's like
yeah.
That overconfident, swaggering like Jedi, and everything works out for him. It was like, I love that. I was like, they should have had that in the movies instead of like whiny Anakin. Oh, I hate them all.
From my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah, no.
Should we take? I want to take the clips of the audio from that and lay it over like Darth Vader footage, just to see Darth Vader be a little bitch. I hate them all.
Actually, legitimately, someone took the old Ben speech, like when Luke Skywalker asked about his father. Someone took like his speech and interspliced like his last fight with Anakin Skywalker, and it it made it like the most epic thing in the world. Like to know their relationship and to see him talking about it and just the certain looks and everything, and like it fits so good. It was like, it is
That's
amazing to watch. Like, even though that fight turned out to be pretty horrible.
Yeah, that was...
Which is another thing that makes me tragic, because that was like one of the most, like, in the lore for Star Wars before, you know, they showed
everything.
Yeah, before they showed it, I mean, just that fight, that last fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker is like one of the most epic things in like the Star Wars lore. And then they showed it, and it's like, this is what we get?
Yeah.
Dead.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Yeah. So you're teaching him tactics. It's a bit too late. You're fighting in a volcano.
Yeah.
At this time, tactics are out the window. Get the fuck out of the lava. That's
Yeah, for real.
go.
But that's my issue with like the trailer. Like I said, for anyone, watch episode 1. It's okay. It's like he's a kid, and it's an orphan on a desert planet that has to escape his fate, which is Star Wars episode 1,
5, and 7.
And 7.
1, 4, 7. Yeah. 1, 4, 7, 12.
Episode 2 and 3, cut out anything dealing with Anakin or Padme and just show the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're good to go.
All right. Anything else from E3 you guys are hype about?
That zombie game that they showed at the PlayStation 1. What is that one called? Days Gone?
Days Gone,
Gone.
yeah.
Oh my fucking god. When I saw the bear trap thing, where he puts the bear trap in front of the sign and then like throws a rock at it, and this dude walks over and steps in it and starts screaming, and everyone's like, shh, like be quiet, because they don't want him to attract the zombies. Well, in the trailer, the dude runs off and continues with the mission, but they said you can stick around and they'll shoot that guy in the head for screaming because they can't get him to shut up.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
I was like, whoa, this game is tight.
Romero zombies I could deal with. The slow, I can deal with all day. The
Yeah,
Day of
these
the
are
Dead
fast.
screaming running zombies? No.
Oh. Yeah,
And then they had like zombies hanging from trees as like traps. Like it's crazy.
Also, what you call it? And I can't confirm, is God of War, is that like the same voice actor? Because I saw the trailer, but I couldn't quite tell if that was the same dude. If it's not, I might have lost my interest, because the gameplay just seems kind of meh. Like, it seems like a God of War game, sort of, except he uses an axe instead of any kind of chain blades, so...
Oh, he's a God of War, but a Viking.
Yeah, but chain blades were awesome. Like, that was a very unique fighting style to show in games. But, on a side note, the Spider-Man PS4 game looks
Bella.
absolutely amazing. And let me say that it's an amazing thing that we're finally getting a Spider-Man game that's not attached to any kind of movie or anything. It's just a Spider-Man story in a game.
Yeah, I do like that. It looks good. It doesn't look like the most interesting thing in the world to play, but like swinging around the city looks really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have my ups and downs with it.
I liked that mission that they showed with the cargo container, like swinging from the helicopter, and you're like chasing them through the city.
Yeah, like that part
As
looks
they're
fun, but
destroying
the
crap.
quick time events don't.
Yeah, that's... I mean,
Is it going to be like open world?
supposedly.
Yeah, how big
As far
that
as I've
world
heard.
is, we have yet to see.
Don't worry.
By the
Yes.
way, God of War's voice
Lay down,
actor
Belle.
is the same guy.
Okay, good. Because, like I said, I couldn't quite tell in the trailer, because it seems like... And also, how awesome is it that the God of War, this Greek white dude, is actually being voiced by a black dude that had his fame start in a 90s sitcom and Final Destination 2. Okay. Turns out to be one of the gruffest sounding white dudes ever.
Yeah, I was like, did you
So
guys
you give
know
Jess
he's
a hug?
black? Because that's crazy.
You're about to go do the same.
Dude, when I saw him, it's
About
like,
to go do the same.
it's that guy. Wow,
Mom.
he's doing a really good job.
Go with Mom.
Yeah, like,
Go.
wow, for
Go
sure.
with Mom.
But yeah, he has such a gruff voice whenever he goes Kratos, man. It's amazing.
I like that Kratos is much more soft-spoken as far as what we've seen.
I know, right? He's not. That's what was confusing, because he's not very like over the top or anything. I mean, it's like it's a different God of War game, but
Yeah.
it's not. So it's like really.
I'm super excited for it. I actually didn't play God of War until I got a PS4. And then I played it on my Vita, and then I played God of War 3 on the PS4 and was like, this is fucking tight.
Yeah, I played 1 and 2, but it's kind of the same. It's kind of like the same issue I had with Infamous, even though it's like a completely different game, like Infamous being open world and such. But I have like a usual like issue with like open world games, and I had like kind of the same issue with God of War's. Like 1 and 2 played practically identically, and then I saw things for God of War 3, and it's like, yeah, it's still the same stuff. So it's like my interest just drops because it's like, yeah, it's cool stuff, but I've been doing that cool stuff for 2 games now, and now I'm getting this cool stuff that looks like this other cool stuff.
Oh, wait. I was wrong. God of War 4 is not the same voice actor.
Okay, I was wondering.
I looked up 2 and 3, not 3 and 4.
That makes more sense then.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on, if that's okay with you fellas, to
let's do
the
it.
RNG topic. Or, I'm sorry, the rad topic this week.
Oh, it's rarely a Destiny show.
Rarely a Destiny.
Yeah.
So, Ben, what's your number, 1 to 100?
33.
33. Scott?
19.
Des?
72.
And I'll do 44. And it is 22, so Scott.
All right.
Nice.
Let's see. If you could pick one franchise to be inserted into as a hero or a villain, which would it be, and what would your superpowers be?
Franchise in any genre, or are you specifically aiming for a genre?
Any genre. Might have to explain it a little bit, but anything goes.
All right, I got one. You ever see that movie Chronicle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to be one of those kids. Just running around with fucking telekinesis powers, goofing off. I really love that movie because I was like, I guess that would be what it's like to be like one of the only 4 people in the world who have telekinetic powers. Just goofing off and then killing your cousin.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
What was that movie? It was like 6 or so, like I'm 4 or like I'm 6 or something like that. About this group of alien kids or something. God,
4.
I've seen the movie.
4. I am 4.
Yeah, I am 4. Yeah, it could have been that. Like some kind of some genetically enhanced or alien people, and they get hunted down.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, because there was.
It's actually a pretty good movie.
It was one of 12. There was 12 of them, and they were getting hunted down by another one of their. I might be merging 2 movie franchises together.
That sounds like
you talking about Highlander.
Wow, that makes another one.
I am Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Or you could be Sean Connery, who played a Frenchman.
I am number 4. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm French.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Yeah, Sean Connery. It's a freaking Egyptian. It's like, wait, you sound Scottish. You say you're from Egypt, but the last place you were was to get this awesome katana from Japan. Wait, what?
I mean, I guess if you're immortal, you could walk around. You could go anywhere, really. You know.
But then why does he sound Scottish? He sounded more Scottish
than anything.
Than Christopher Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
So, where were we at?
I think Buster's still thinking, right?
Yeah, I have 2 off the top of my head. I'm just trying to narrow it down.
See, that's the problem I had, because when I thought about this, I'm like, oh man, I would totally be like Wolverine, or and then I started thinking, that's not that great a superpower as much as I love Wolverine. I was like, what about Magneto? He can control metal things and stuff, the magnetic fields. He can fly, basically. That would be kind of cool too. And I couldn't really come up with one to decide. And then I'm like, well, you could also go the route of saying something again, go in the route of like anime or Destiny, you could do that kind of stuff because it would technically be considered a superpower because normal humans can't have it. You know, like you have to go through like a series of tests and pass them to become, you know. So there was like a bunch of stuff I was thinking about, and I think I kind of settled on that, like some sort of superhuman, able to channel like energy and things like that into basically like a living weapon, super strength and that kind of stuff.
So you want to be a Sunbreaker?
Yeah, dude. I tell people all the time, like, there's a reason I play Titan. There's a reason I play Sunbreaker. I just love smashing things and blowing stuff up. I'm a simple man.
Man, I think for
you
me,
love Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
Let's not
bam, smash, bam.
hey, I'll, like, say what you will, but like I said, Michael Bay has really good movies that you can just turn your brain off, sit down and watch and have fun.
Have you seen
lots of like eye candy and like visual information? Yes. You don't really have to think too hard when watching a Michael Bay movie. You can just sit back and have dumb fun.
To talk about Michael Bay, that trailer for the newest Transformers. I get it. You're giving me Beast Wars, kind of, sort of.
No, we're not even giving you Beast Wars. They're making Optimus evil.
Yeah. No, what I don't understand is they have a new actress. I don't want to say eye candy because she might have a major part.
Even though she is.
It's literally Megan Fox with a British accent.
Well, I mean, that's like, you see, that's the only thing I don't like about the Transformers series, because after the first one, they all follow the same formula.
Yeah.
Awkward / nerdy lead character with eye candy female attachment, facing with around the bigger plot of Autobots versus Decepticons.
And it wasn't even Autobots versus Decepticons. That was more of a sideshow because of all the
human drama,
humans versus Autobots.
Yeah, which when it comes down to it, like, I watched the first Transformers movie and I was hyped on it. I was like, yes, awesome.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like, a lot of people were down on the first Transformers movie, but I thought it was okay.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of things people bitch about. I'm like, listen, you guys are fucking stupid. Here's why. It's not art house cinema. It's not like the fucking comics.
It's not Citizen Kane, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. You're watching a movie that's about giant robots that transform into cars, and they're beating the shit out of each other. What did you expect?
Yeah, what more do you want?
With Optimus Prime having a strange, fascination with decapitating other robots with these gigantic heated blades. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I the first one, like, I liked it. I wasn't, and people bitch like, oh, they turned Bumblebee into a Camaro. It's an ad for GM. I'm like, listen, nobody's afraid.
Product placement, come on.
Nobody is fucking afraid of a Volkswagen Beetle. I'm sorry, but if you're trying to make these like Transformers like warriors and heroes, and I'm a Decepticon and I see somebody roll up as a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, like, I get it, the cartoon was like that, but think about this. Ironhide in the original cartoon was a fucking red minivan, a red Nissan minivan. Mm-hmm. You roll up with a Beetle and a minivan backed by, Optimus Prime, who's a tractor trailer. I'm a Decepticon. I'm like a fucking fighter plane, and I'm backed by like tanks and whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Fuck these clowns. And I just waste them and laugh at them, So I didn't have a problem with that. My problem was, like, exactly like you said, Des, like, the fucking human drama. Like, if they caught that shit out of the movie, I would have been so happy. It would have been, like, 100 times better. And it was
now, like, a lot of the...
like, no, you don't. Like, I came to see giant robots beat the crap out of each other.
What was it, like that goofy Men in Black character? I forget. I love the actor, but I forget his name.
Fucking...
Yeah.
I know
he was in Mr. Deeds. He was the butler in Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, because he's hilarious, and like those parts, like when Mark Wahlberg was in the latest ones, like he was good because some of his lines were funny. But yeah, it's like the extra drama crap, and it's like, why are these movies focusing on this nerdy kid that just so happens to hook up with a hot chick?
Yeah, I don't care about Sam. Somebody please step on him.
I know, right?
Maybe 3 times more Optimus.
It's like, why did they give him 3 movies where like he's the central focus?
Charlotte Beef, bud.
I'm still trying to figure out. Oh, here's a funny fact about the latest Transformers movie, since you mentioned it. We watched that. We didn't actually pay for it. We watched it off Hulu or something, or Amazon Prime, when it went to free or something. Or we paid like $5 to rent it when we went down to visit my sister-in-law in Maryland. And so we're both sitting there, or like, it was me and my wife, my sister-in-law, and her future husband. So we're sitting there, and when the movie finishes, we're like, that was the biggest piece of shit ever, because it was an hour and a half into the movie, and we only got glimpses of Optimus Prime's attractive trailer. He didn't actually have a line until like the 2-hour mark, and then the movie went on for another hour and a half. It was terrible.
Yeah. That actor is John Turturro, by the way.
Okay, good.
Is that okay?
Because he's great.
Yeah, so we're sitting there, and there was this green Corvette who was supposed to be like a British SAS trooper, but he was a Corvette, which made no fucking sense. Like, he had these, like...
He should be an Aston Martin?
Yeah, I'm like, he should be something, like, this makes no fucking sense. So anyways, his voice sounded really familiar. And I'm like, I know this fucking guy from somewhere. So, like, I Googled it, IMDb, and I just burst out laughing, and they all look at me like, what? I was like, you know the green guy? They're like, yeah. I was like, it was fucking John DiMaggio. Like
Bender!
John DiMaggio.
Bender
From Futurama, who also is voiced by Scruffy. So what they did was they took the green guy and they gave Scruffy a British accent. Mm-hmm. And so the rest of the night we're just cracking up, like making Scruffy impersonate.
Yeah, that's like when finding out, like, speaking of like the Volkswagen Beetle, like those two comedy Autobots that were in the third one.
The two racist bots?
Yeah. One of them
negative stereotype bots?
One of them was voiced by SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. One of those they combined into the Beetle. One of them was SpongeBob.
Oh my god!
Yes,
that's
because I heard it. Because of course, having a daughter, that trust me, it became a choice. It was either a Dora the Explorer DVD or the first season of SpongeBob. Hey baby, don't you want to get this? It's a lot more for like the same thing. Why don't you get this, SpongeBob? SpongeBob's great, but but yeah. So we saw that, and I'm just listening like. That voice is no.
Yeah.
No.
It blows your mind when you find out who the voice actors are.
We left the theater. My wife was driving, and I immediately looked up on my phone. Was like, who voiced him? That was SpongeBob.
Like, it blows your mind when you find out that most of the male leads from anime are always female.
Oh yeah.
Or always women.
Wow.
Oh,
because they have more of a vocal range. They can play the young and the powered up version. Where a male can only play like the adult. You know what I mean? Because like, we can't drop our octaves or raise our octaves.
It's like Dragon Ball, Goku, Gohan, Goten are all voiced by a 90-year-old Japanese woman.
Mm-hmm.
But
holy shit! I saw the guy who voices Mario on the E3 Snapchat story, whatever. But he's like some like old ass white dude. It's really weird.
Funny.
Crap, what was it? Oh yeah, one of my favorite parts about the first Transformer movies was the fact that God, I'm forgetting his name now, but
Shia LaBeouf.
No, not Shia LaBeouf. The guy that voiced Megatron.
Peter Walker.
Yeah, no. In the movie, it wasn't Peter Walker.
No. Frank. Was it Frank Walker? No.
It was no. It was because he played Agent Smith in The Matrix, and
Viggo. No, not Viggo Mortensen.
No, Viggo Mortensen was
Hugo Weaving.
Yes.
Hugo Weaving. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, because like his role is like his performance as Megatron and like his performance in V for Vendetta. He's like an actor that doesn't need his face. It's like you can tell like everything he's doing just from his voice, and that was like one of my favorite parts of like the first two. I think it was the fact that he voiced Megatron. It's just like he nailed that.
Yeah, it was really good. I do love the fact that they brought Peter Cullen in to voice Optimus Prime. They had to. It was like, oh, that's amazing.
And the fact that the original Megatron voice actor did come in and play Soundwave in the third one.
That's fun.
Yes, Frank Walker.
So yeah, that was cool.
The best part is when everybody goes, well, what happens if they're in the car and then they transform into the robot version? Do they get crushed? And then like the next movie they showed like several times, full speed chase, turn in, catch them, put them down. So I was like, okay, cool. But to answer your question, Scott, my genre would be in Bleach. There's a surprise. I would be a Shinigami, and my powers would be I like sound. I generally always go to either sound or like plant powers.
Right.
And I mean, I've actually played a RPG where I played a Shinigami with my own Zanpakuto, and I had a Bankai all planned out and written out and stuff. So it was easy. I just reached right in. I was like, oh, I have it all written up. So yeah, it would be a plant power. My Zanpakuto would be Silent Singer in the dark. because Zanpakuto's names never make sense if you translate them directly from from katakana to English. They never make sense.
They're poetic, though.
Mm-hmm. Beast King Zabimaru. There's a bunch. Yeah, so
pretty epic.
That's the answer to that question. Bleach, sound powers.
I think I'm going to change mine. I think I'd be a Transformer. I think I'm going to go with that.
I would definitely completely either rip off Wolverine or like the Captain America Super Soldier Serum. Like totally. It's like, because I would like, especially like if I had Wolverine's like regenerative capabilities.
Yes.
I would so be a crazy bastard. Like knowing things like, oh, this won't hurt for long.
It'll hurt, but not forever.
I mean, because that is like always, because you know, when you're a kid, like you see Wolverine and, or like when I was a kid and I see Wolverine's like he pops the claws or he like goes through something painful and he just like gets up and it doesn't faze him. So you think in your mind that, you know, through the years he's just like numbed out to it. But then it was the Wolverine, like one of the comic book runs where he ran out of the mansion to live into the woods of the mansion. And it's like this monologue like of him, because I can't even remember the number or anything, but I had this Wolverine comic and it's like he's running through the woods and there's like basically a dude like beating his wife, and he's like, he hears it and he's running to it to stop it, and he's going through this monologue of like how it's hard to like cage his inner beast and this, that, and the other. But the line I remember is they basically had it in the first X-Men movie too, because like a lot of people ask if it hurts when they come out.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. And it's like, oh,
makes sense.
What kind of crap have you went through?
It's ripping through his skin, you know?
Yeah.
But that's something you don't think about when you're like 10.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
They don't show the blood after it comes out, except for this one particular comic imprint where he had the bone claws and you can see bits of flesh still stick to the...
Yeah, I saw an image from that. It was like super... Like, nope.
Raven, the conversation we had yesterday when you were like, my wife's kind of mad at me because we watched Logan, I didn't tell her anything. Yeah. And then I mentioned that the little, I guess, teaser that they dropped and how it makes sense now. I don't want to. I don't know if it's a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. In one of the movies, a mutant touches him and tells Wolverine's future, and he asks the question, "How will I die?" Because he's immortal, and the person answers, "You'll die with your heart in your hands." And if you watch Logan, spoiler warning, obviously he dies, and he dies holding Laura's hand.
Yeah,
like he's holding her hand, so he dies with his heart in his hand.
Yeah,
which I love the fact that they built. I mean, a lot of people might say that they built that relationship very fast, but at the same time, they built that relationship exactly how I picture Wolverine would have a relationship with a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so weird, so awkward.
Yeah, like really weird, really awkward, and that in the comics, like his relationship with his actual son wasn't so good because Dockham was trying to murder him every chance he got, even though he was practically immortal.
And as we all know, the rage is tied to the Y chromosome. That's why X-23 is a female, because the rage is controllable.
Yeah, controllable. Good luck with that.
Well, she couldn't control it because she was young, but that was, in the comics, it's tied to a scent, like a
she's
specific
still Wolverine's
smell.
kid, though.
Yeah, 100%. You can see it.
Yep.
And she embraces it too, because that's one thing I've always loved. Because my first exposure to X-23 was actually in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I love the fact that she embraced it so much that she even stole Wolverine's tagline, and the fact that I'm the second best at what I do. It's like, I get it. I get what you did there.
All right, guys. What have you guys been playing? Or how was your week in gaming?
I've been cleaning up Horizon, because I got that game right before my daughter was born, so I figure pushing 4 months on that game, I should probably finish it. And I just got the last armor set in that game.
Nice.
You guys play any Assassin's Creed games?
All of them up until Unity.
Okay, so
played the black one, the Black Sails, the
Black Flag.
Black Flag. Sorry,
yeah.
I watch Black Sails on Stars. It's any pirate thing is Black Sails to me.
So you know how like all those games near the end they give you the most badass armor set for the entire game? They did that with this game, but they waited way too long. Like, I'm positive I'm on the last mission and I just got it. I was like, I get what you did.
It's about like Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
It's like
but
that
Assassin's
black armor,
Creed,
it
you
takes
could
about
get it
forever.
pretty. You could get it and like still have a chunk of the game left.
Oh yeah, I mean potentially.
But because I always was like, as soon as I can get that, I'm going to get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing Horizon. I bought Horizon for my dad for Father's Day, and I hope that he likes it. He's like, he plays Fallout a lot, and he's one of those guys that just sits and like inches his way through that game. I don't know how he does it.
That's a perfect game to do it in, though.
Oh
Yeah.
That or Skyrim, you know.
Especially
He
the
hates
Fallout.
Skyrim. He does not like Skyrim. And I was like, how? Dad, it is Fallout. And he's like, no, I don't like it. I'm just like, okay. But I'm going to see if he likes Horizon, because it's very sneaky, like, got to plan stuff out. Mm-hmm. He likes Far Cry, too, so.
Yeah, he should like Horizon then.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And then I played some Destiny last night. We had we kind of had like a pre-show last night.
Yeah, we did. Nice. I think
I was
you
like,
mentioned if
Scott
Scott was
hopped
up,
on.
we could record it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I haven't played much actually this week due to real life stuff. I played the weeklies and got that done. I actually, when I was playing last week, I think it was, I broke out the palindrome again, because I'm not typically a hand cannon guy, but palindrome was just so good. I was like, I'm going to try it, and it was really awesome. And then I put it away for a while because I was, dying to like grasp and lock and stuff like that. And since I put that away, I haven't really been able to get back to it, like get the aim back and the rhythm for hand cannons. So I popped that out the other night in, I think I started in Iron Banner. And then it translated over to whatever the weekly was this week. I played the weekly to get the treasure box. And it was like, it was so good because I was like shooting people across the map. And like, it was really heavy team shots, which was awesome. I'd be like on, what is it, Drifter, I think, is the one that's in like the Fallen Catch. And
No, Drifter's in the Reef. You're thinking Thieves' Den.
No, it's no. Drifter is the Fallen Catch. There's a drift in the Rift.
yes. That's the one inside the Fallen Catch that's in the Reef.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I couldn't remember the name
No,
of it.
you're both right. So
Misunderstood
Because
what you were
it's
trying to
still-
say. Sorry.
it's Reef space, but it's a Fallen Catch that's
What you're
broken
inside
down
of.
in Reef
Gotcha.
space.
Yeah, that was the one. So like I was like rotating around the outside, and then teammates were like shooting into the middle. And so like I one-shotted people with palindrome a couple times because it was a headshot and they were like absolute. So I was picking up kills and assists left and right, and people were getting pissed. It was pretty funny. So I've been feeling the hand cannon a lot. I played Borderlands a little bit, not too much this week, obviously, because like I said, other stuff going on. But and I know Ben and I talked about this on our show, but it was super weird when you go from one game to another and the mechanics. Like, I love Borderlands. I still love that game. But the mechanics and just the shooting and everything in that game is so clunky compared to Destiny. It hurt me to play that game, which is sad because I love that game. But I was just like, I got back to Destiny. I was streaming on my Warlock at that point. I'm just like, oh, even the Warlock is better than Borderlands. Like,
Everything is better than Borderlands. I hate that.
see, I love Borderlands. I can't say that.
Except the loot is better in Borderlands.
No, the loot is the worst.
They're the worst.
Has
Why
anybody
would you
noticed?
give me a shotgun with a freaking sniper scope on it? They give you stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Has anybody
don't
noticed
use the
that Ben
shotgun with
looks
a
like he's
sniper
in the
scope.
upside down right now because it got super dark on his view? Like Ben's like, I'm getting mean right now. Click.
Because as soon as you get like the OP legendary stuff, because in one playthrough, like me and a friend actually had this legendary grenade drop called Fastball.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah, Fastball is freaking amazing because it is like a boss buster. As long as they don't resist fire, it's just like Fastball, pop.
See, my beef with the loot system in Borderlands is it is literally RNG. Like, you can't just get certain weapons from places. There's not like really certain weapon archetypes that are easy to tell. It was just like I found guns that I liked and I used them for the entire game. And then when I got a new one, when I leveled up, it was great. They do have some really cool stuff, but I just couldn't, like, when I played Destiny, because I came from Borderlands initially, and Gray Fox got me into that and Destiny. He's like, I like the loot system in Borderlands better because you don't have these certain guns that everybody has and keeps killing you with. I'm like, see, but that's why I like Destiny, because I know what the good guns are, and how to work them, basically.
I don't I feel like Borderlands lied to me when the first one came out, and they're like, millions of guns. I was like, no. Maybe like 100 guns with a bunch of variants that are just like, I don't want.
Each variant is
like a
gun.
stat variant.
That's like Destiny. It's like saying there's hundreds of guns in Destiny. Not really. There's only a handful.
Yeah, I know. But I don't say there's hundreds of guns in Destiny. There's just I don't know, maybe 50? I don't know. I don't like that they're just like, the stats are slightly different on this gun, so it's a whole new gun. You're like, no, it's not.
I don't know. At least Borderlands, like I said, one thing I do like about Borderlands is the fact that it's hilarious because I didn't get into Borderlands until the Handsome Jack collection, so it was well after my Destiny career, because Handsome Jack collection was on sale like one of the many times it usually is for like $15. And it's like,
right.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Borderlands. I'll download this and give it a shot.
That's why we all started playing it again.
Handsome Jack might be one of my favorite protagonists ever. Or antagonists ever.
He's hilarious. And the guy who does his voice is awesome.
Hilarious.
Did you guys play the first game?
No.
I played it at my
I started playing with the Handsome Jack collection.
So
that's my first hands-on experience.
The entire first game, they're like, you got to get to this vault, bro. You got to get to this vault. And you're just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to get to this vault. I'm going to get all that loot. I'm going to do a new game plus. It's going to be sick.
Nope.
And then they're like, no, the vault's a creature. And you're like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this game. You're out. I quit.
But no, the one thing I do, like I said, it's hilarious to go back and play it though, because it's like, how do the Bungie devs say that they found no inspiration in Borderlands? Because it's like, different foundries that do different things. I mean, like in Borderlands, where a TDR weapon explodes like a grenade when you reload it.
Or what about the? Have you played the pre-sequel yet?
No, well, I have, but
what about
like as much as two?
Yeah, nobody did. It was good. I will say one of my favorite characters in the Borderlands universe. Actually, I didn't know anything about her, but she turned out being one of my favorite characters, Athena, the gladiator from the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
Sentinel. Anybody?
Yeah,
Looks exactly like it. Has a shield that you can block, and then tosses and bounce it off of enemies.
But like as far as like loot goes, like I said, being an old RPG gamer,
yeah.
I mean, just to give some context, Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
The only way to get the strongest armor in the entire game is to go into one very specific dungeon with one very specific room to encounter one very specific enemy called the Flan Princess. The Flan Princess has a very rare drop, as in a 1 in 64 chance drop. That's a 1.56% chance. And you have to collect multiple pink tails to get the strongest armor in the game. Nope. I'm used to insane loot requirements.
I beat Emerald and Ruby Weapon. I know how you feel. You know what I mean? Like that just ends the insane loot requirements is nothing compared to you have to beat Emerald and then you have to beat Ruby and then you gotta.
Yeah, but hilariously, their loot is garbage.
Oh yeah,
because in order to beat them, you A, have to have multiple master materia, which is what like Ruby gives you, and B, have a golden chocobo, which is what Emerald gives you. And it's like, I have these things.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I've been playing some Destiny. I'm trying to at least get the boxes and such per week. I don't want to lose
free stuff,
any feel I have for the game in general. I really don't care for what's in the boxes, but like I said, at least that gives me incentive to go and at least do these things once a week. To where I can still keep Destiny's gun system in my head and try and keep it fresh,
mechanics and whatnot.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've been searching high and low for other games to play to help. I'm pretty much calling it my path to Destiny 2, and I'm playing games that are going to help me improve my gun game. I am playing I'm playing a lot of Paladins because that is a team-based game that can require callouts. It requires synergy, and the user interface. If you choose to use the team HUD, Like, it's very similar to what Bungie is going to, so I'm learning like to pay attention to other areas of my screen. I am actually playing like really hard platformer games like Super Meat Boy to try and get my Twitch reactions up.
Nice.
You know, like the games I'm playing right now, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to find things to help me improve, and that I can like go into D2 better than I even left D1.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to do right now.
That's what I've been, when I play Destiny, I'm trying to use sniper more because I don't snipe. I've been trying to sort of improve my gun skill with that.
He doesn't want that, Scott. I'm just going to let you know. He doesn't want that
He's
at all.
he's not a fan of snipers.
No. He's a fusion kid. I can see it in his face.
Yeah, fusion boy. Oh.
I've been playing, like Raven said, and like Raven, a lot of Paladins, yet we have not teamed up to play Paladins, and I don't even know what that's like, because I've been playing Paladins solo, which you can.
It isn't bad.
It's not bad.
It isn't bad solo.
I was playing that yesterday, and I went on a tear, and I was like, Converse actually plays as well. I think Co-Founder does. Am I wrong about that? Does Co-Founder play?
I don't know. I haven't heard him.
I know Converse does for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking
in
about
fact, I kind of dragged Converse into it, sort of.
Okay, so you did both of us then.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this yesterday. As much as I hate saying it, but Raven was right. I do love Paladins. He told me, he's like, dude, you'd love Paladins. I'm like, I didn't like Overwatch. He's like, it's not Overwatch, it's Paladins. And I'm like, cool. And Paladins, you start off with like, what, 6 characters?
8, I think.
8?
It's like
Yeah,
a tank,
2 from each.
a front line. Well, you get a front line, you get a support access, and then you get like, it's either 4 or 6 damage.
Yeah. And I started playing it, and of course I went to the Fernando, which is the knight defender type character with the shield and all that.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned that, Raven was like, I'm not surprised. And I'm like, true.
Yeah. That's actually the character I figured you would latch onto first.
Yeah. And Converse was like, why don't you just buy the Founders Pack? You get all the champions and any other champion they release. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend money on a game I don't know if I like or not. And yesterday when I logged on, it was like, meet Ash, the new one. And I'm like, oh, let me see her. And I looked at her and I was like, well, looks like I'm going to spend $20. And I bought the Founders Pack. So guess what game I'm buying when it comes out? That's right. Paladins. Unless it's a free-to-play game. And if so, super dope. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Well, see, that's the thing. The Founders Pack actually gives you access to the game. Like, you're like any champion that ever comes out, like for release or beta or not, you now have access. You've bought the game. Like,
oh, sweet.
By Founders Pack.
Nice.
Yeah, you have the game now.
Nice. I didn't know
everyone that ever comes out, you have access to.
But I didn't know. Oh, go ahead.
Other than paying for gems or buying cosmetics, you don't have to spend another dime on that game to unlock people.
The best part for me was I didn't know that the Founders Pack gives you skins and weapons for Fernando.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I didn't know that until it showed, because it gives you the little exclamation point. I'm like, what's this? And I look, I'm like, what's this? What's this? There's cool shit on my guy. What's this? I'm gonna fucking fry. What's this? I like the use of fire. I was fucking going nuts.
Yeah.
And I like Ruckus.
Yeah, Ruckus is a fun time.
And what's the soul girl? The girl with the
Saris.
Yeah, the one who you sent me, like, bust your vote. And I was like, Saris, who is this?
Yeah.
Oh, Angelic? Yes, give me that skin.
Yeah, and freaking, like, she's and it's hilarious because she's very, like, an airborne character, too. Mm-hmm. Like, she looks like there's, like, a hood over her eyes. She's very, like...
She carries
her voice is very raspy.
She carries the lantern, right?
She fires soul orbs at people.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. I played that. I've been playing some Fallout 4. My son is playing, Buster Jr. is playing, not Fallout, I'm sorry, Skyrim. And he was like, Dad, I don't want to die. And I looked at him and I was like, don't worry, you have God mode. He doesn't have God mode. It's just that I'm level like 79 and I have like the best armor and I have a weapon that does insane damage because I made an alchemy potion that gave it so much extra damage and stuff. And he was fighting a dragon and the dragon was breathing fire on him. And I'm like, don't worry, you're not going to die because it has the flame resistance and then your health regenerates. So I'm like, son, you're Kayato from Sword Art. You can just you can stand there and let him kill him. He's like, Dad, I'm surrounded by guys. I'm like, you're fine. And I heard, he hit the shout button and I was like, I don't know what shout I had on. And I heard foos and I'm like, oh, they're gone. And he's like, whoa! And I'm like, mm-hmm. You're right. You're welcome. He's like, Dad, how do I do this? I'm like, you don't have to worry. I'm like, the only thing I tell you not to do is do not go into a town and kill people. And I turned off the autosave function so it doesn't mess up my saves or nothing. Not like you can. Been playing No Man's Sky a little bit. Yeah, like you said, Raven, I've been playing games that it's going to carry through and increase because, Paladins requires a lot of map awareness. Call outs, but no one is on comms. Like I said, we need to team up so that way. And I think if you team up, the more people you get, the higher the rewards scale up, right? Like,
it's like a 10% boost if you're in a party
per person, right? Up to 50.
No, because we've had 3 on.
Oh, so it's only 10%.
I think it's just a solid 10%. I think
still nice.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I'm downloading it right now.
Dude, do it.
Like I said, it's an awesome game, man.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like Overwatch, but I like Paladins. And I think it might just be like how Paladins is, I don't want to say toxic, but I do want to say toxic. If you know what I mean.
Paladins is toxic?
No, Overwatch.
Oh.
Paladins is cool.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure, there's toxic people everywhere.
Yeah. It's just that most of them are non-mic, at least on the PS4 version of Paladins. But yeah, it's like I said, I actually connect way more like with characters in Paladins than I do with Overwatch.
Which one do I? Oh, Maldamba?
Maldamba, yeah.
Yeah,
I
started playing to him because I played as Pip as my support, and I'm like, I'm going to check everybody out because I have all the characters. I might as well just play a match with each one to see who I like and who I don't like. I don't like Dragos.
Yeah, Dragos, yeah, he's...
I don't like him.
He's different.
Yeah, very different. But like I said, I like Saris, I like Maldamba, I like Ruckus, because I like the idea, because it's like the diva character, a small goblin inside of a mech.
Oh, yeah. And I love the fact that it's like that somehow in this mech and the sentient mech. Mm-hmm. Like, also, like, since you got the Founders Pack, you have voice packs for all the characters that you can equip.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that you could buy cards at the beginning. Like, I'm literally... Like I had to go on. I went on YouTube and I was like, "How do I do this?" And it's like you can make cards and do this, that, and the other. And I'm like,
"Oh yeah."
You can buy. Like I turned off the auto buy function for the beginning of the map. You can buy buffs, so I pick my own now, and the game is so much more fun.
Oh yeah.
I was playing literally with basic Fernando, like the loadout basic Fernando, and then I realized I got a shit ton of cards that do like. I use Fireball a lot, and I'm like, "Oh, my Fireball." Stops your healing and heals me. Oh shit, this is great. And I'm like, cool, I'm good.
That's where I like it, like over Overwatch as well. Is like because that card system really,
it's fun.
It can really like fine tune that champion into your playstyle a little more.
Yep. This is a rad baby cast.
Yeah, she's fine.
Dude, we've all, like I said, we're all dads. We've all been through it.
So, yeah.
So any of you guys have any tangent topics before we call this sweet baby at about 3.5 hours?
I did want to talk about Rumble. Because
Rumble. We got to cover that.
Yeah. Apparently Rumble's not coming back. I just wanted to know how you guys felt about it. I'm a little I'm not like buttered about it, but I do like Rumble a lot. So I'm a little bummed out, but I fully expect it to come in an expansion later.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but at the same time, it's like I've said before, like Destiny 1 doesn't quite know like what kind of shooter it really wants to be. Because you have the big team 6v6s, you have the 3v3 small teams. But I think with them like focusing on like the 4v4, it's like because Rumble is a great way to like learn maps and like learn spots and especially learn like awareness in Destiny situations. But I think like getting rid of it, like it not coming back, I can like understand because with like I said, the focus on 4v4, they might want you to try and instead of developing personal skill, focus more on like team synergies, which you can't do in Rumble.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So I can understand if it doesn't come back. I don't play Rumble that often. It's like that's a node that's probably never going to get filled for the record book for me. But yeah, I don't mind it as well because I do see its benefits. So, like I said, it's a bummer, but at the same time, it's kind of a meh thing for me personally.
See, I like playing Rumble. There was a period of time between content drops where before bed I usually play Destiny like before I go to bed anyways, but I would just fire it up, play a couple rounds of Rumble, and try and really practice my engaging, disengaging, my gun skill, try and like learn the maps and the spawns and stuff like that. And it has made me better. That said, I don't just like fire up Destiny and say, hey, let's go play Rumble for no reason. It was kind of similar. I kind of played it similarly to how I would play Patrols, Like if I wanted to just go do something solo and unwind, I would do Rumble or I would do Patrols.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I like Rumble. I'm sad to see it go. But, oh well. What can you do? I want some 4v4v4 or big team battle. Just give me something crazy.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, it's like I can understand like a lot of people getting up in arms about specific things about like on the horizon for D2. It's like I can see why some people are upset or possibly upset about the story prospects, lore prospects, things like that. Mm-hmm. And I can sympathize, but at the same time, it's like my biggest advice. It can be the fact that we're not going to know exactly what's coming until it's coming. Once it's here, then we're going to find out like what the story content's going to be, where the path is going to take, and B. It's kind of like I said in the pre-show. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches.
And honestly, go ahead. Sorry.
It was like I was saying. It's a world we're invited to be a part of.
Right.
But essentially, this is still Bungie's world. It's like there's no better way of understanding that than like Dungeons and Dragons RPG. It's like you're invited to play an adventure. I mean, sure, you can have some sway in where the adventure goes, but ultimately it's still the DM's adventure. He can put his foot down and go, no, that's not happening right now.
More like the D-Gem. Hey, I have a quick question for you guys. So, what would you think if Iron Banner was, big team battle, even just sixes? Was like, oh, Iron Banner's here this week. It's 6v6, or like something crazy like that. I feel like that would really bring a lot of people into Banner.
I'd like it.
Yeah,
makes it unique
for that.
Yeah, it makes it a special occasion.
It would really give Banner like that push that I kind of feel it kind of needs, because Banner right now is just kind of a thing to do for loot. Yeah, but I feel like with everything going 4v4, if Banner did push it open and go like 6v6 or 8v8 or whatever. I feel like that would, especially like for a limited, coming around once a month thing, I feel like that would really like separate itself from everything.
Yeah, also, I think it would be super cool.
Also, can we agree, or what do you guys think? Because my theory is that because the Iron Banner gear has been European in design, has been Viking in design, I think this in Destiny 2 is going to be very samurai or very Asian in design, because you've seen the Hunter. And it kind of looks like it's very ninja-y with the katana type sword. That's my theory.
I mean, yeah. I was going to say, based off that Hunter thing, I think it's a very, very real possibility.
Good guess.
Well, that and they could also be like individualizing the looks per class.
Yeah,
that's like the new Monarchy armor for Titans that they've shown, that some people have shown images for and have caught. Look like massive Iron Banner like knight. I mean, I'm talking like even like a freaking plume on the helmet type deal. I mean, it is.
Which was that the one that they showed in the gameplay trailer that was all red and whatever, and it had like the spikes on the shoulders? Like
I think so. I think so.
That's exotic. That's exotic arms that you're thinking of. The purple with the horns aiming down. Is that what you're thinking?
It wasn't horns aiming down. It was like there was a gameplay shot that shot over the shoulder of a Titan, and it had like the punk rock studs like the pyramid studs on the shoulders, but they were red. Like it was painted the same color as the armor.
Maybe I don't know. There's so many screenshots out there.
Yeah, either way, it's not the armor I was thinking of. So yeah. I know.
As for Rumble, I'm not very upset about it going away. I didn't play Rumble too much. Like I said, I like team shooters. I like being in the team setting. 4-6 is coming back for the Iron Banner. That would be cool. Last night, a couple times, we had a 4v4 in Clash, and that gave you a little taste of what's going to be like. Which it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it.
I would really hope. Like, I know this is like a kind of like a very differential opinion, like from what most people have, but I would like to see Rift come back in a 4v4 setting. It's like I would like because Rift right now does have its problems. I mean, it's not a perfect game mode.
It's because it's too crowded in the map. Is that
what
you
think?
There's
there's some crowding. There's like some issues about when damage is reduced and why, and this, that, and the other, which could be tuned out, maybe not. But like I said, I would just really love like that, and hopefully it won't be such a restrictive game mode in 4v4. It's like maybe you can actually go in solo and do some good in a 4v4 Rift rather than what it is now, maybe.
See, my beef with Rift is that it still enables people to set up and snipe the Spark. Like, you get people who play Rift like it's Clash, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, as an objective-based game mode, like, I got a problem with that. I'd rather play the objective. And this probably has something to do with me being terrible at PvP, you know? I'd rather, like, dunk the Rift a shitload of times than, like, sit there and try and snipe people from it, you know? Like,
well, I mean, but then also, like, the weapon changes to D2 are also going to be like taking that down a peg too. So I mean, like I said, there's just a lot of things in D2 that I would like to, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing how Rift could work in this environment.
Yeah, I think 4v4 Rift might actually be a little bit better for the game type because it's not going to be as like crowded, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a giant fire sale at the Rift because two people charge in and shotgun each other, and then the third one melees the other guy, and there's like, you know, so there's two people left
like me that saves a smash for like a chunk of like 5 people on the Rift's like, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
So, I guess that would be the fitting end to the 57th episode of the RngCast, or the very first episode of the RADcast.
Because we're totally rad.
Yeah, because we're rad, guys. Scott, Ben, thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for showing us the little lights, the little babies.
Yeah.
It was a nice little thing. Everybody who listened, you heard some babies. There you go. Probably the first podcast. It's their first podcast. Thank you, babies, for being on the show as well.
It is.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you guys personally and the Barely a Destiny podcast and all that good shit. Ben, your mic's unplugged.
Fucking dicks. God damn it. Okay, you can find me everywhere at Ben Malone. It's DETBENMALONE. We stream our show on Twitch on my channel, and that's my Twitter, that's my PlayStation. You can find our show on Twitter at BarelyADS because Bad Show was already taken. You can find my daughter in her crib right next to me.
Go, Scott.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Slapshot Scott. The O's are zeros. I swear I'll get my videos uploaded to YouTube eventually. I gotta edit a couple down. I had some good ones last week. I actually had a match where I put up a 1.8 KD and was top of the leaderboard for Supremacy. So I was pretty proud of that.
He says this every week that he's going to upload them. He never does.
Dude, yeah. It's look at this guy right here. That's why. It's like, if you're not paying attention to me, I'm going to scream. Right, buddy? So, and my son, he's either with me or my wife. So,
I haven't made him a Twitter yet.
Yeah.
Please don't make your babies a Twitter.
Yeah, he does.
Well,
he
my
does
daughter's got one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Ben's like tweeting it.
Shit my pants.
Tweeting it to your daughter.
Don't you hate when you shit your pants up your back?
At mom, I pooped.
Yeah.
I just
That,
pooped.
that face when you pooped, but you don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah. Oh man.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Des.
Yeah. This, as always, is your boy Raven. You can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecorvusnest. And you can search me out on YouTube from Death Switch Raven. And anyone that messages Ben, give him a good hi, Dick.
Private dick.
And I'm Buster Knuckle. You can find me on Twitter at BusterKnuckle13. That's at BusterKnuckle13. You can find me on PSN, BlisterLister113. On Twitch, twitch.tv/Buster_Knuckle. And at YouTube, at just search Buster Knuckle. I don't have a custom URL. You can find this podcast, the RngCast, on Twitter at the RngCast, on Instagram at the RngCast. You can email us, the RngCast at gmail.com. You can support us on Patreon if you choose to. Patreon.com/the RngCast. And I think that's it. Yeah. If you want t-shirts to come back, the year one anniversary, we're just waiting for the tweets to come in. If you want one, let us know somehow. We have a Discord. If you want a Discord invite, tweet at us, tweet at me, tweet at Raven, tweet at somebody, email us, whatever. We'll send you a Discord invite. And Biz
on Bungie.net. However you can, get in touch with us. We'll send you a Discord invite. We promise.
Yeah. And if you want to join the clan, look us up.
Where you can also tag Ben and say hi, Dick. Because Ben's in our Discord too. So.
Exactly. And that being said, this is the RngCast or the Ragcast. We're out.
Later, man.
See you all next week.
Biz, we miss you.